So here's another audio for you to react to on stream. And I was like, oh, thank you. So we'll also be reacting to GTC audios. Unless Surprise drops a chapter right now just to mess with you. And you know what? That is something that she might do. Hi, Sam. Let's start with Black Sesame Cream Latte, since that's only a 3,000 word chapter. Because Jaime, for once in their life, was like, you know what? I'm gonna write something short for real this time. I'm on chapter 41. You're almost there. I'm also like sucking on a little pastille thingy. Well, because I'm still congested, kind of. So yeah, we'll do our best. I'm really excited for this. Who is here right now? What secrets can I drop? What secrets can I drop? What? Okay, so I actually got access to this chapter early because I am in a different server. I am spilling the tea. I'm in a different server with like the the higher ups at GTC. Let's say. So like Jaime dropped this, but I was like, I probably shouldn't check this out because I will eventually have to like react to it on stream. He just he dropped it there before dropping it on early access to ask, oh, is this format looking good? Like, is this good to read? Like, if I like drop it on ellipsis. So she did that before dropping their little lore. Already in the super secret cool kids club, and can't look at anything because Artie has stream priorities. Oh, Red did the oh, that's sweet. Okay. Yeah, let's just get to only stream on 2 platforms today. We don't need Discord today. GTC is so well written. I love hearing backstage stuff. There is a lot happening. I will just see the editors in like editing VC, and I'm like, I kind of want to join, but also it's not my place. But I also really, really want to join. I want to see what they're doing. I want to see it so bad. But yeah, what unfortunately, I need to do my streams and I need to react to everything blindly. So yeah, no smut in this one, probably. I know. It is rated for general audience. Fluff, Rumira Day, technically part of Gimme That Candyfloss, but can be read standalone. Loser, lover girl Mira, also loser, lover girl Rumi, exes to lovers. I just know that M and R read this chapter, and M was immediately like, can we do an audio of this? So I'm pretty sure there will be an audio of this at some point. There are a lot of audios that are being made right now. It's just, there's so much happening, y'all. There's so much happening. Okay, so this chapter is called Black Sesame Cream Latte. Should I read the summary? They didn't have your favorite, Rumi says sheepishly, sitting down across from her. I got you a black sesame cream latte instead. I remember you liked the one I got you a while back. A while back was nearly 4 years ago. The corner of her lip twitches despite her best efforts not to, and Mira brings the cup up to her lips to hide her smile. Or Rumi and Mira go on a first date. Again. That's just such a good setup. Hi, I'm in finals hell, but Ramiro was calling to me like the Green Goblin mask while I was studying. So take this short, an actual short one for once, lol, fic as intermission. This takes place in the Gimme That Candyfloss verse or Candyverse Floss verse around chapter 28, detailing a bit of the Rumira date. However, you do not need to read 600k plus words to get this short fic if you don't want to. All you need to know is that Rumi and Mira are exes. They reconciled, and this is technically their first date as they kiss, fall in love. I should have played that. God damn it! Hey, hey, hey! Or on reference. Okay, let's get started. Rumi is late. Honestly, Mira shouldn't be surprised. It's not like Rumi hasn't done this before. She's done this too many times before, and Mira hates that she's still left disappointed. Disappointment comes from expecting too much. That's what her father used to say to her. It rubs more salt in the wound, more than she cares to admit. Mira drums her fingers on the table and checks her phone for the nth time. She scowls at it. No new notifications for her to peruse, and definitely no text messages from Zoe to keep her company. She can't blame Zoe, though. They've been texting on and off all day, as they usually do, and Zoe had already warned her that she needed to lock in for a Nuzlocke stream, whatever the fuck that meant. In any case, is that how you say it? Anyway, I feel like there were some people telling me that I pronounced that wrong in the last stream, but anyway. Anyway, in any case, it means that checking her phone while she waits for Rumi is twice as pathetic. People who pretend to check their phones on dates are losers. Kang Mira is no loser. And yet, she's sitting in a cafe, surrounded by colorful shelves full of board games and the bustle of dice and conversation, hunched over in the back corner booth while she incessantly refreshes her feed. For the first time in her life, Mira wishes that her notifications were exploding with men vying for her attention. At least that way she can spend the next however fucking long sending them scalding messages or a simple emoji. Doing that seems more appealing than pretending that the absent chair across from her isn't picking at her old wounds. Stop that. She scolds herself through gritted teeth. She's biting down on the inside of her cheek so hard that she's surprised it doesn't bleed. They promised each other that they'd do better. They have been doing better. What was the point of spending, over 50 hours in therapy by now if they weren't going to get better? What was the point of wasting her time? What was the point of asking her out on a date and whispering, I missed you, before they slipped into the car, promising to be right back and not coming back, just like she always does, just like she did on their anniversary, just like a coffee cup slides next to her hand. It brushes against her knuckles, warm. They didn't have your favorite, Rumi says sheepishly, sitting down across from her. There's another coffee cup clutched in her hand, and she fiddles with her hoodie strings, the hood pulled over her purple braid. I got you a black sesame cream latte instead. I remember you liked the one I got you a while back. A while back was nearly 4 years ago. The corner of her lip twitches despite her best efforts not to, and Mira brings the cup up to her lips to hide her smile. Something in the cup tickles her top lip. Mira sets the cup down and gives Rumi an uninterested eyebrow raise. Rumi gives her a small smile back. Mira abhors that she misses seeing the way Rumi's pouty lips curl like that. Mira cracks open the lid of the coffee cup, then blinks. A small pink flower is floating on top of the bed of foam and sesame seeds. I asked the cashier to slip one in, Rumi explains, scratching the side of her neck with an embarrassed finger. They put decorative flowers in iced lattes. I asked if there was a pink one, and she gestures vaguely, almost like she's giving jazz hands, and Mira blinks once again. Why? Mira asks. Nothing in her voice gives her away. It's hard to put down her walls sometimes. Rumi doesn't seem to mind this time. She clicks her tongue as she thinks, then quietly says, well, I can't get you a bouquet for our date because, you know. Of course, Mira knows. But I wanted to get something anyway for you, if that's okay. Mira stares at her. She looks back down at the cup in her hands, at the pink flower wobbling gently on top of her drink. You didn't have to, Mira says, just as quietly. She's not exactly worried that someone might overhear her. After all, every other table around them is engrossed in a board game or in animated stories among themselves. It's more like she's worried that Rumi might hear how wobbly her own voice is getting. Then Rumi reaches over to the table and puts her hand on top of Mira's, squeezes gently, with a thumb running over Mira's smooth knuckles. Rumi's hand feels warm in hers, always comfortably warm, even on the hottest summer days. Rumi's touch always feels like a balm to her worries. I didn't have to, Rumi repeats, but I wanted to. For you, Angel. Finger her teeth. Mira jerks her hand away so fast that she nearly spills her own drink. God fucking damn it. God damn it. God damn it. God. Rumi laughs. She uses her really pretty laugh, the kind of laugh she uses whenever Mira does something particularly stupid or pathetic, which isn't often, obviously, which she always follows up with a comment about how cute she is and an apology for scaring her. You're cute, Rumi teases, then clears her throat. Sorry, it slipped out. I don't have to say it again if you don't want me to. Predictable women will be Mira's downfall, unfortunately. Fine, Mira says, her voice slightly high. She clears her throat to get rid of it. Thankfully, Rumi doesn't seem to notice, or at least is gracious enough to pretend that she doesn't. We're on a date, she adds, matter of factly, bringing her drink up to her lips. Which means you can call me whatever the hell you want, as long as it isn't bitch or whatever, but she shrugs. Not that she has to worry that Rumi would ever. What, even sweetheart? Rumi teases again. And I did see the tweet that Jaime made about this. Um, tell me that I'm special. Tell me I look pretty. Tell me I'm a little angel, sweetheart of your city. Yeah. So very fun, very fun. Teehee. Mira nearly dribbles down her chin. She chokes the rest of it down, and she watches Rumi press her lips tight together when her smile starts to get too wide. Rumi doesn't comment on anything else though. Just lifts her own coffee, probably an iced americano, like the predictable woman she is, and takes a small sip. You're having way too much fun, aren't you? Mira deadpans. Can't help it, Rumi answers with a half-hearted shrug. You made fun of me when I tripped on the sidewalk trying to ask you out. I thought it was only fair. No, I didn't. You snorted. As if you wouldn't either. At least I helped you up. Rumi shoots her a weak glare. It makes Mira lean back with a satisfied smile. Argument won. Then Mira catches her looking at the box pushed against the wall, and she puts her hand on top of it. Picked out a board game while you were gone, she says proudly. Rumi frowns. I thought you said we'd pick one out together, she asks, but it comes off like a whine. If they weren't sitting down, Rumi would have stomped her foot like a pretty princess. It makes Mira smirk. There's over 100 board games in this place, Mira points out, fingers scratching at the rim of her cup. You would have missed your flight just narrowing it down to 99. I can pick a board game, Rumi says, affronted. Mira gestures languidly to the board games laid out on the shelf nearby. Then pick one. Rumi huffs like a bull, then turns around in her chair to look at them. She stares for a while, her eyes flicking back and forth as she takes in all the titles like Catan, Clue, Battleship, and blah blah blah. Mira looks down at her phone. She waits for a minute to pass, then asks, Did you? Hold on, Rumi hisses. Mira rolls her eyes, but she sips at her drink while she waits. Rumi points victoriously at a board game and announces, That one. Mira just raises her eyebrows. Then go get it. Oh, Rumi looks a little surprised, but she blinks it away and gets up to get it. Mira has to hide her snort behind her drink. See, she would have gotten up to get Rumi's board game for her, which Rumi no doubt had already reflexively believed she would, but making a fool of her a minute ago needed some light punishment. She'll still open the car door for Rumi when they leave for the airport later. She's not a monster. Rumi comes back victorious with her board game, and she holds it out for Mira to look at her. Her stupid, dorky, proud-looking grin makes Mira want to kill somebody. Not because of how cute it looks, but because Rumi, obviously. But not even her family can help her out of a public homicide case, so Mira suppresses the urge by taking another swig of her drink and leaning in to look at the title. She regrets sipping it. She nearly chokes on her guffaw. What? Rumi asks, offended by her reaction. You told me to pick. You didn't give me any sort of restrictions, so I. It's not that, Mira says patiently. You picked Monopoly. Rumi's shoulders are still high up in defense. So? You picked Monopoly Crazy for Cats. So? Mira slides over the box next to her, the board game that she picked before Rumi threw her mini tantrum. Rumi stares down at it. Dogopoly, Mira drawls, propping her chin on her hand. We picked the same game, just different ones they had in stock, I guess. That is so funny. Jaime was like, yeah, you won't escape Dog Rumi and Cat Mira even in this little like 3K one shot. Rumi's shoulders drop. They still shake with light giggles, though. Mira raises her eyebrows in silent question. Same wavelength for once, Rumi jokes. I thought we were going to fight over which board game to play until we had to leave. If that's what you thought, why'd you take me to a board game cafe in the first place? Mira asks curiously, and maybe a little defensively. Because I wouldn't have minded bickering with you, Rumi says, slightly mumbled, like it's so painfully obvious. Obvious as Mira liking her lattes and Rumi liking her plain iced Americanos. Obvious as Zoe guzzling down her meals with a pickle juice monster. Obvious as the foot that Rumi gently kicks her with under the table, and how it lingers against Mira's shin. It was the same tactic that Rumi used too on their second date. Obviously, it was effective. Not that Mira ever told her that. She'd rather take it with her to her ashes. Pick one, Mira says. Rumi's eyes flick back and forth between the two Monopoly boards. Mira rolls her eyes, pressing her lips together to keep from smiling. She's found that she's had to do it a couple of times today alone. Not the board games. We'd be here for fucking ever, Mira says flatly. Heads or tails? Rumi lets out an amused exhale. You know my answer. Call it anyway. Tails. Rumi is only capable of picking coin sides because of the tails never fails saying that her father used to tell her as a kid. Mira doesn't mind. She likes getting head. Or heads, whichever. That's good. That's really funny. Tails for your game, heads for mine, Mira guesses, and Rumi gives her a quick nod. Good. Mira swipes up on her phone. She doesn't carry coins around. She doesn't need to when her credit card can buy literally anything and everything in this building alone. So she opens up her coin tossing app to let it run. She's had it on her phone for over 4 years now. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thanks for that. Thank you. Small details like that. It lands on heads. Mira smiles in satisfaction. Sure, she didn't technically win anything, but it still feels good. She can feel Rumi looking at her as she brings her board to the middle of the table with those stupid big eyes. There's a lot more things inside of the box than she thought there would be. Then again, she doesn't play board games, so she doesn't really have a frame of reference anyway. But there's the giant board, plus the paper money, plus some cards, plus more cards, plus tiny plastic house looking things, plus silver pieces, plus dice, and an entire instruction sheet that she unfurls to read. Have you ever played Monopoly? Mira asks. Rumi shakes her head. Mira puts the instructions down to stare at her in disbelief. Then why'd you pick it? I thought you knew how to play. Why'd you pick it? Because everyone plays Monopoly, which means it's probably quick and easy, Mira says pointedly. Girl, girl. I haven't played Monopoly in years, but like when we used to, it would go on for hours. Rumi tilts her head and looks up at the ceiling to think. I mean, I guess, she grumbles. Satisfied with the answer, Mira looks back down at the instructions. There's too many things to keep track of if she's being honest. Houses with interest, plus jail time, the bank, kennels, tokens. Ugh, it's too much. She could learn all of this if she wanted to, but she's kind of lazy right now. We pick one of these silver things and put it here, Mira says, pointing at the start of the board. Then we use the dice to dictate how many squares we move. And then what happens if I land on... Rumi leans in to look at the dog breeds printed on the board. Something like Beagle? Mira can't be asked to look at the instruction sheet right now. Then you have to pay me $50. Rumi's brow scrunches together. Then what about Doberman Pinscher? $150. Why? Because I said so. Mira, Rumi warns. You can pick the price for the other breeds too, Mira says with a shrug. We can memorize how much each square costs. It shouldn't be that hard. Rumi hums. And if we land on go to kennel, then you have to stand on top of the table and bark as loud as you can. They're so silly. Rumi kicks her shin under the table, and Mira snickers. What if you landed on it, huh? Rumi challenges. You would have been into it. Mira drawls, tracing a pattern on top of her cup. You think anything I do is hot. Remember when you told me that you thought me scratching my ass in the morning was... I didn't mean it like that, Rumi hisses, pink in the face. It makes Mira laugh. This is starting to feel like a real date. A happy date. The kind of date that they used to go on all the time. The kind of date that ends with a promise of more. Mira starts to separate the paper money, splitting it perfectly in two for them to take. She doesn't know if that's what she's supposed to do, but whatever. Their rules. It's more fun when they get to decide what the rules are. She can feel Rumi staring at her while she shuffles the cards. She doesn't even know what the cards are, but they can figure it out. Mira glances up at Rumi when Rumi doesn't look away. Rumi's smiling. It's the soft kind of smile, with her cheek resting against her hand and her pupils dilated. It's the kind of look on her face that Mira used to see all the time whenever she'd make dinner, or when she'd clean the dishes, or honestly, whenever she does anything. Rumi always finds a reason to look at her like that. Just not when they fight. They haven't fought in a long time, though. What? Mira asks carefully. Rumi doesn't wait to tell her. It's almost like she's been waiting to tell her. You're really pretty with your hair up, Rumi says softly. She clears her throat, her smile turning more shy, with crinkles at the corners of her eyes and a shine in them. Or down. You're always pretty. You look pretty all the time, I mean. Mira nearly answers with a half sarcastic, thanks, I wouldn't have ever known if you didn't tell me. But Rumi continues, her voice quiet, but with a soft, brush-like edge of sincerity and awe. I think you're so beautiful, Mira. Mira wishes she could come up with something smart to reply to that. Something that could make Rumi start stammering and squealing at her like she does when she's embarrassed, so that Mira can cackle away and have the high ground. But it's hard to find something to say when her mind is flatlining. Mira ducks her head down and stares at the board in front of her, her hands slightly shaking as she shuffles through the rest of the cards. She wants to flip the cards over so she can pretend she's doing something productive instead of trying desperately to come up with something to say, but her fingers feel too frozen and shaky all at once. Her mouth can't move either. She doesn't know what the fuck to say to that. All she knows is that her body feels flushed and something in her stomach is shuddering like jello on a table. Unstable, but still sweet. Rumi doesn't boast about Mira's reaction this time. She merely laughs, a sincerely happy one from what Mira can tell, and brings her cup of coffee up to her lips to drink. Mira gives her a weak kick under the table. Her mouth still isn't working, but the action should convey her intentions enough. Rumi gently kicks her back. Oh, wait, there's costs underneath the dog breeds, Rumi points out, tapping the costs, the $375 underneath the Saint Bernard. Mira shrugs. I still wanna I still kinda wanna make up the prices. Rumi's eyes flick up to her with an amused smile. What for? It's more fun, Mira declares. She puts down the neat stack of cards in the middle of the board. Unless you don't want to. I want to, Rumi promises. I think it's more fun when we break the rules. Not until you get sent to the kennel. Rumi tosses her a weak glare, and Mira laughs. They've only been here for less than half an hour, and Mira already thinks that this is one of the best dates she's ever been on, mostly because she's never gotten to break the rules with a date like this before. And it helps that her date makes the butterflies in her stomach start to flutter. Again. My teeth are rotting. My teeth are rotting from the sweetness. And that's the whole chapter. Wow. Jaime said I wrote something short and it was true. Hi Aaron. What's up? What's up? After 3 hours and none of us were having fun. Wait, if none of us were having fun, we were just all playing out the dedication to the bit. Yeah. Mm. I played it exactly once. It lasts around 30 hours split over about a week. That's crazy. I want more. That wasn't enough. Well, more will probably come next week, TBH. And we will listen to some audio, so that will be fun. Give me 30K. Y'all want me to suffer. I'm good, Aaron. I was just trying to do taxes before this, and if what Free Tax USA is telling me is true, then I owe a lot in taxes, and I'm really not excited about that. But Jaime got medication, and instead of going insane and writing 500K, he wrote a normal amount for once. I didn't mean it like that. Oh, give me 30K. No, I didn't mean it like that. Oh, did you mean it in what? Explain that to. Do you mean money? Do you mean money? Anyways, it's okay. Let me read the notes. For those reading GTC, the next chapter should be up either next week or the next, depending on how hard I kicked in the teeth for my next final. If you're from the future, maybe it's already up or I got hit by a bus, who knows? Yeah, okay. So either next week or the week following. Which, you know what? I've been chilling with this like new schedule, new release schedule. I'm like, okay, I don't have to like bust my ass to try to get a stream in every week because sometimes I don't have time. Like I should have time nowadays, but I'm not complaining. No, I don't mean money. Words by Monarch. I didn't mean it like that. I don't want you to suffer. Listen, the ideal chapter length for me for a stream is like 20 to 25K, the way things are going right now. When it's 30, I can do it, but I would rather have it be like a shorter chapter and have the rest of that in the next chapter. That's just how I operate. I don't want to like stay on stream for too long and just like suffer, you know? I can barely read 30 words in a paragraph. Yeah, on the other hand, I have withdrawals, but the sheer amount of words Jaime was writing was insane. Listen, instead of releasing like 40K to like 50K chapters, I would be happy if those chapters were split and like released 1 week at a time, while also allowing like Jaime to like have some time to themselves, because my god. At this point, Jaime is just an entity to me. Like, Jaime is not a real person. Because I do not know how she operates like that. Anyway, a break was definitely needed. Oh, 100%. 100%. Okay. So let's do some audios, y'all. Let's do some audios, and then we will move on to the Two's Company chapter that is like around 11,000 words, and it's a Valentine's Day special, which like we've already, it's been like 2 months since Valentine's Day. That's crazy to me. Can we just acknowledge how crazy that is? Why are we in April? Anyway, I feel normal about the passage of time. What are you talking about? Anyway, um, let's do the chapter 22 audio first. What's your big three in polytrix fanfics? Hmm. Really depends. The first. Hmm. I mean, Two Scumdy and GTC are like the obvious two, but like the third one depends on like if we're going by like popularity overall or like popularity to me, like, or like importance to me specifically. Yeah, because I was thinking about when the sky breaks west as like a potential answer, but then I'm thinking about like they find her in the dirt by the tree because of the like the sheer impact it has had on the fandom. Like, no, go away. Like, that is such, like, they find her in the dirt by the tree is such an iconic fic. Like, even if you haven't read it, you know about it. But it's a shorter one. If we're talking about like multi chapters, then I might put when the sky breaks west. I just thought about None of Us Are Out Here. Wait. My gut answer is GTCTCW. Yeah. I forgot about None of Us Are Out Here. That's also a contender. That's also a contender, Loki. No, because Rumi had lied, but Mira had sinned lives rent free in my head. Here's my thing with When the Sky Breaks West. If you can't handle like heavy violence, or there's a lot of abuse in that fic, like physical abuse. Um, so like parental abuse. So like if you can't handle that, don't. It is. I always say this. I think it is the hardest fic I've ever read. I was like feeling sick reading that. But I also haven't read the entirety of Demo's werewolf fic. So if I like read the entirety of that, maybe that would like surpass When the Sky Breaks West as the hardest fic I've ever read. Oh, liars is another one that I have to read, but I haven't read yet. And honestly, with So We Were Liars, I was like, that's also a big one that might be fun to do on stream. But I also like to do streams for fics that are like coming out in real time. So that might just be a like personal time, do it on my off time kind of fic. Hmm. Demos were. Hi, Reef. Hi, Reef. Oh my god, guess what? Guess what? Jaime wrote a 3,000 word chapter for once. 3,000 words. Not 30,000, not 50,000. So we just read that. We just read that. It was a little side thing. It's not an official GTC chapter, but it's just so funny. That is like 3K. Let's do the audio. Oh my god. Reef, if you'd like to stay for the audio, I would be fine with that. It's not, you shouldn't be crazy. Well, I was gonna say you should be crazy spoiled, but then I remembered it's actually very spoilery because chapter 22 is Treehouse, right? Chapter 22 is 3 House. Jaime / healthy writing habits was not a parry anyone expected. Yes, so let me pull out the audio. Let me pull out the Mira account. Mira on the wall. And then we have a little special surprise. Early access to an audio via Arty privileges, Arty stream privileges. Okay. Chapter 22 audio. This is a 13-minute audio. Cal is the most insane person I have ever known. Cal and Jaime are like crazy. It's not that many Arty, I haven't read a single word of the fic. It's so spoilers. I mean, if you just want to chill around, I don't think it should be crazy, but we get a lot of like Zoe and Mira stuff in the treehouse one. Oh, it's no. Anyways, it's up to it will be spoilers. But it's also like you get to hear an audio and you will probably forget about it. This is from chapter 22. By the time you're reading the fic, me and Chris are having decompression time in the car after shopping. Hell yeah. That's quite lovely. Is Chris there? Hi, Chris. Out of context, kind of like reading ahead. Yeah. You wouldn't remember if I like played the audio and you heard it. You would have remembered, but let's pull this up and let's share it over here. Okay. Let's go. Chapter 22 audio. And Mira is voiced by Cactus in this one. So Cactus audio debut. Let's go.
You're right. Friends are honest with each other. I took you out here so I could be honest with you.
Oh.
Is that why you cried? Because you wanted to be honest with me?
You've already told me that you remember being in the hospital when you were 7.
I really like her voice.
I don't think you remember how you got there, do you?
I kinda do. I remember falling out of a tree. I remember how itchy that cast was and how much I wanted to grab a stick and shove it down there. Does that count?
I'm sorry. I was the one who made you climb the tree. I forced you up there. I could sit here and give you excuse after excuse about why I did it, but it wouldn't change what happened. I hurt you when all you wanted to do was be my friend, and God, Zoe, I'm still so fucking sorry.
Mira.
I should have been a better friend to you. I'm still trying to be a good friend to you. I know I haven't always done a good job of that, but I still want to try, if you'll let me. I know I can be such a shitty person sometimes, and that I can be, I don't know, stupidly blunt and aggressive, and you already know how difficult of a person I can be. But you make me feel like those things can be okay sometimes. Like I can still be me, and it doesn't mean that I'm going to hurt someone. But I hurt you back then, and I still hurt you now with the whole thing about Rumi and pushing you away when I shouldn't have, and I'm so sorry. Zoe, I'm sorry for
she really sounds like Mira there.
I've ever done to hurt you. I don't know what to promise you other than that I want to try and be better, to be a better friend for you, if you'd let me.
That's a really long-winded way to tell me that we used to be friends in elementary school.
sorry.
Don't be. Just kind of wish you started with that.
I'm sorry for everything. That wasn't... I should have started with that. I just needed to tell you that first. I thought it would have been something you wanted to know first. In case you didn't...
I didn't what? Didn't want to be friends with you anymore? That I wanted you to leave me alone and never come
Sorry,
back?
the music.
I still want you here with me. If I could go back in time, I wish you could have been with me through everything. We can't though.
I love these like soft-spoken conversations.
here now.
Like those are my.
That's all that matters, right?
That's my cup of tea. You know. I go to the
I
theater
wrote
and I'm like,
letters for
I
you and
love
Mimi
when two actors just like talk.
when I made the bracelets. I was supposed to give them to Ginu so he could pass them along with the bracelets, but I chickened out. I read them over while I was in the hospital with my dad, and I couldn't do it. I thought you two would think I was a loser. I said we should be honest, so I thought it would help if I started with myself. Now it's your turn. Tell me why you didn't want to tell me. I want you to tell me everything on your mind because you said it yourself. Friends are honest. Tell me everything. But before you do, I need you to know I'm still here.
What's that sound effect?
Take one. Take anyone that you like.
Oh, that was the letters.
You
Yeah.
can open the rest of them back home if you want. I still have even more to show you. Or if you don't want to, it's not like
Of course I will. I'll read them. You know that.
That's the police coming for Zomira. Okay, sound effects. Okay, freesound.org. Okay.
Want to read the rest at home? Hey, you don't have to...
Just one more.
What?
Open it. Read it out to me.
Why?
You can read.
You can read, can't you?
Read it out to
That's
me.
funny.
I just want to hear you read it.
Why?
Because I want to hear you read it out.
Why?
I can't want to hear you read it out loud.
I'll only read it out to you if you tell me why.
Do I need a reason
You're
why?
so funny.
Yes.
Why?
Ugh.
Read it.
That's so cute. That
Please.
interaction was so cute.
I promise I won't make fun of you. I just want to hear it from you. In your voice.
Okay. But you said you won't make fun of me, and I'm holding you to that.
Wanna swear on it? I guess I should just say it first before it gets all dramatic.
The Korean coaching
I
they
had a big
get.
crush on you when we were kids. If you didn't know, somehow. Something about your throwing arm and your big collection of spiders and Pokemon cards had me swooning, I guess. I didn't do anything about it, obviously. If I had to go back in time, I don't think I would have done anything
that's
about
really
it
nice.
anyway.
Nice.
Not in the I'm scared to say anything about a stupid crush way, but more like I just wanted to be around you. Being around you made me feel like I could tumble down a hill and laugh with you forever. If I could go back in time, I would have tried to find a way to be friends with you for longer. Maybe I could have been there for your 10th birthday and made fun of you for finally making it to the double digits. Maybe I could have laughed at you for failing your first driver's test, then told you that you didn't even need a license anyway, because I would have driven you anywhere you wanted. Sometimes I stare at my ceiling at night and dream about all the times we could have skipped class in high school to grab food or scream songs in my car. Maybe you would have been the one to dye my hair pink with me. There's a part of me that wishes I was the one to listen to all of your shitty teenage remixes and made fun of you for them. Then rubbed your back and told you how proud I was of what you'd made. The only good memory I ever had of my father as a kid was the few times he'd let me garden with him. Something about tending to a garden made him feel like a competent member of society, I guess. I didn't like it, I'll be honest. Why would I spend my time gardening if I could get fresh asparagus with the wave of my hand? I don't remember how, but I found a sunflower seed and got so excited to plant it. I had a whole vision in my head that it would grow so big and my brother would be jealous of how tall and pretty it was. Obviously, a responsibility like that was a lot harder than I thought it would be. It took forever for the sunflower to grow, and when it did, it was lopsided and droopy, and God, can I be honest? Really fucking short. But I adored it much more than the flawless image I'd had in my head. I would admire it from my window every time I did my homework, adoring it for everything that
The
it
music
stood
reminds
for.
me of Utsuna music.
That it wasn't perfect.
So
That it took a
whimsical.
lot of hard work, and that it was all the more beautiful for it. That's how I feel about you. I don't love you because you match a memory from a long time ago. I love you because you're here, because you grew into yourself without caring what people expected you to be. And you still shine so brightly in my life, and I want to help you keep shining. I love you the way the trees love the ground. Slowly, sincerely, grounding. Whatever other words to make you laugh at how corny it is. I'd pick your thunder and your rain over anyone else's sunshine any day. I'm sorry if I ever made you feel like I stopped loving you. I'm sorry for that, and I'll be sorry for the rest of my life.
Damn.
I'm sorry, and I'll tell you through paper and ink and with all the words I have, if it's still what you want. I'm sorry we couldn't grow up together, but I will be here to see you grow old. I want to see you with gray hair and wrinkles. I don't need you to be taller.
I love this part
or
of the
brighter or easier to take care of. I don't need you to be anything else other than what you already are. I like you when you're childish, Zoe. I like you even when you're mad, Zoe, or sad, Zoe, or badass musician, Zoe. I just want to be here with you, Zoe. No expectations, nothing to take from you. All I want is to sit here with you and watch you grow with me in whatever direction that ends up being.
You really want to see me grow old? Then you're gonna have to be here with me a very long time. Like, a really long time.
I'd spend all the time in the world with you for as long as you want.
Cute. Oh, okay. Pahina, Tahanan, and Lucky. Okay, that was the last song. Yeah. And yeah. Good job, y'all. That was so sweet. I just let out a screech. We are back. Is the first reply to that comment, the reply to the tweet that I see. My heart, dang it. I've gotten so used to reading polyamory that I end up surprised when I see a regular couple. It's so funny. Oh. Oh my god, hi. It's such a cute scene. It's like, I remember, like, before we got to like all the letter stuff, I was like, oh shit, this is gonna make me sad. It's gonna make me sad. And it still kind of like upsets me because it's the whole like, oh, all the missed years stuff. But the way it's done through the letters with like Mira's letters of like, I don't love you because I am like holding on to this memory of you. I love you because you are as you are. And I just think that is so sweet. Yeah. Snaps all around. Let's go on to the special early access audio. Wait, oh my god. TikTok is making me do tasks. Okay. So Cal messaged me and was like, "Hey, for your stream later on." And this is a shorter audio. This is 4-minute audio, and I'll let you guys figure out what audio it is. I'm so excited. Oh my god. Oh wait, I should share it. Okay, if I can download it, I'll download so that I can share it with the YouTube. Where are you? Okay. Actually, wait. Actually, I'll just share this freaking tab. Share this tab. Okay.
What flavor are you getting? Do you think maybe I should get peach? Or mango? Or, oh my god, you know what sounds really good? Peach mango. Or,
Dude, you're so funny.
Sorry. I spaced out looking at the chocolate touching the mango.
That's also
Did
cactus.
you say something?
look.
Eggie, you know I can just get you a large, right? In fact, I can buy this store out if you want.
You don't have to do that. But getting a small for free just for being a couple is something I am not missing out on.
How would they even enforce that? Do New Yorkians have a couple card?
I mean, don't Koreans have that?
What?
I mean,
The
kinda.
volume is a little.
There's the matching fits and the couple rings and the
I don't know if this is
couple
approved audio.
necklaces, right? Or maybe a random ajumma just decides you're a couple and you live off that. Mine does it all the time with my cousins.
Well,
Welcome. What can I do for you guys today?
That's Cal.
We're,
Cal appearance.
We're here to.
From what I know.
My hubby and I are celebrating an anniversary today. So
If you were
we'd like to
watching on
ship New
YouTube,
York
there was just
for
the
the
Prince fan art.
weekend. We were wondering how we could
I am so ready.
our 3rd year anniversary, actually. She's always wanted to see Hamilton on Broadway.
Of course she
I
has.
saved up for years for this trip.
Oh, are you seeing it tonight?
Tomorrow. I'm taking her out for dinner at Manhattan tonight.
Lucky gal. So what flavor can I get you guys today? I'll bump it up to a medium on the house.
Thank you, Cal.
You're the one who wanted gelato, baby. What do you want?
I don't want to eat it alone.
I'll eat whatever you're craving. You already know you're my only craving.
Ruby's
Mm,
crazy in this one.
Peach? I know you like mango too. Can you split it with peach and mango? My sweet girl can't go one without the other.
Of course.
Perdón si parezco un poco nerviosa o si mi cielo la hace.
Me preguntaba.
Lo siento. Le voy a pedir matrimonio mañana en lo alto del Empire State. Creo que ella
Nerves.
puede sentir mis nervios.
Te deseo la mejor de las suertes. Si sirve de algo, se ven totalmente enamorados el uno del otro.
Thank you
That's
again.
good.
You're both always welcome here. Pero no pensé que alguien como tú supiera español.
Quiero aprender todas las maneras de decirle que la amo. Taste good. Peach was the right call, baby.
Oh my
have good
god. I'm gonna throw up.
What was that?
Sorry, was that okay? I should have asked. I
The
panicked
immediate
when you
switch
said
up?
Panicked? You sounded so.
I didn't say anything bad. If you were curious, just sold your couple thing a bit more.
Sure.
Like you wanted.
Thank you. I think.
Is the gelato?
Is it what?
Gelato? Good? Gelato? Good? Gelato?
Oh,
Yes, good.
Cactus nailed
Gelato,
that.
Good. Yeah, good.
Gelato, good. Yeah.
Yes. That was really good.
What was?
You're acting. It was like watching you act out like a K-drama script thingy in real time. Super fun.
What acting?
What acting?
I remember. That was so good. Yes. God, I love that scene so much. Can you tell? Gelato, good gelato. I am obsessed with that scene. I'm so glad they did an audio of that. And we also got some translations behind the songs. I think we have Pahina for the letters, which I already know Pahina, so but I think D did the translation on this, like, specifically. So this is for the treehouse scene. I can't move forward from here. I can't make things clearer than they are. Your pictures remain. They can't be erased. They never fade. No idea where the steps I'm taking are supposed to go. They move in reverse, barely alive and slow, because the pencil that we used to write our story together suddenly stopped moving. This, in a Zomira context, goes really hard. I go back to every book left open and unfinished, back to the letters laced with warmth and sweetness and joy only you could bring. You were the only one who could have written such special things. In every page that fate itself has ever written, it's always you, it always leads to you, it's always you again. The chapter I keep turning to time and time again, it cries your name still, it's always you. I keep holding on to all the words you said, even though I can't see them reflected in your eyes anymore. Hey, even if your heart's closed off after everything we've been through, please, could you come back with me to the place where we started writing our story? The truth of our story turned into a novel that ended with a doubt we never settled, that painful ending we failed to fight against. Now I ache to recall what it felt like to write your name pretty with my own hands, even if the letters are harder to draw now, because every drag of my pen spells the shape of the promises you made. In every page that destiny itself has ever written, it's always you, it's always you, it's still you. The chapter I keep turning to, all its verses always lead to you. It echoes your name still, it's always you. If we start at the end where the conclusion's unclear, and this is the bridge. If we start at the end where the conclusion's unclear, going back to the time where we had to be apart, can you bring your eyes to the start of the page of the chapters that should have never been written like that? If we start from the finish here where the ending's not set yet, retracing our steps to places we couldn't walk together, can you bring your eyes to the start of the page of the chapter that we never should have written apart from each other? And then the chorus again. So I always thought of Pahina as a Rumira song, but in the context of Zomira and how it like still works, even though it works differently, it's so good. It's so I love it. I love it. Let me check the YouTube. Was there anyone in the YouTube? Hi. May the power of gay fuel your work. Yeah. I'm gonna stop sharing the Discord in case I dox myself even further. But yeah. What are y'all seeing in the YouTube? Hi Tegan. Yeah, I was going live today. Yeah. Rumi definitely had too much. I'm gonna check out the scripts. I really want to check out the script for the Treehouse fic. I really want to know how that was formatted. I'm so curious. And Jaime made the horrible mistake of giving me access to all of that. So I'm not gonna like share it over here. I'm like just gonna check it out. Because I'm like, okay, scripts and lines. Chapter 22. Let me see if they had sent chapter 22. Yeah, they might not have. Treehouse. Oh, I don't think they put the Treehouse script over here. Did they put the gelato scene here? The meat cute. Wait. Chapter 26 was gelato, right? Right? I'm not mistaken. It wasn't chapter 25, right? All the chapters are mixed because chapter 25 was also the Zoe Rumi first meeting. Was that all in the same chapter? Was that all in the same chapter? Wait. No, it was chapter 24. Gelato was chapter 24. And Empire State happened chapter 27. That's a lot of chapters. Ooh. Wait, I'm gonna see if like I have that script over here. I might not. Do they have them pinned? This is just me doing my little gremlin thingies, just like. Oh, we have all the. Wait, give me a second. Damn it, they don't have the ones over here. They have the newer okay. And I can't reveal that, so you guys won't know anything, but I also don't have access to those chapters. We love the gremlin tangents. My gremlin tangent is just like, oh my god, I have all this insider info. I wonder if I can like go and find that. But that was really fun. I was like, I asked on Twitter, being like, should I do a reaction to the treehouse scene? But I like didn't have much of a reaction. I was just like, the gelato scene on the other hand. Because here's the thing, I love the treehouse scene. I love it so much, but it's like they're just being cute. I don't know. I don't have much to say. The gelato scene was like made me freaking like go crazy over Flirty Roomy. So you didn't miss the Two's Company one. We haven't done that yet. We have not done that yet. Oh my god. Guys, I'm so excited for the audios that are coming. You don't even know. You don't even know. The audios in progress right now. You don't even know. Oh. Bro. Bruh. It's gonna be so crazy. It's gonna be uh-huh. Uh, 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 uh. Uh, right. Right, we have that! Shit! We have these audios, and then we have, like, other oh my god! I'm gonna lose my mind. I can't have access to this much information at any point. This cannot be allowed ever, 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 ever. It makes me feel crazy. They sent the script for one of the chapters that they will do an audio for, and the stage direction is not the stage direction, the like expression. I don't know what they say it in, like screenplays, when it's like how the character says the line. I'm very excited. It's been a long time since I've done script writing. It's so fun. It is so fun. Oh, okay. Hell yeah. You'll be a ducky. They're called duckies. People who like help with like translating the chapters to scripts are called duckies. It's very funny. But yeah, hell yeah. Literally all I do in that, because the reason why they got me into that server is for a different thing, and you can probably guess what it is based on like the things that they've been posting and not following up on. It's for other reasons, but I just like get access to all this like audio stuff, and I'm like, y'all can't give this information to me. It's so much. It's too much. Okay. I apologize for missing the stream last time. You don't need to apologize for missing a stream. No one is obligated to join these streams, and I will keep saying that. I really appreciate you guys being here all the time. Wait, duckies? I don't know why they're called duckies. They're just called duckies. I don't know where that comes from, to be honest. Because I'm pretty sure that's not a screenplay thing. That's not like a lingo that I'm familiar with. They're called duckies, and they have little duck profile pictures. And it's really cute, but I don't know why they're called that. We got ants, we got duckies. Exactly. Fucking exactly. Okay, let's move on to how to be someone's Valentine. So this is going to be the Two's Company Side-Fic. And if you're not familiar with Two's Company, if you haven't read it, I'm pretty sure it still works as a one-shot. Let me read the tags real quick. Alternate universe, modern setting, Valentine's Day, fluff, Rumi's first time being in a relationship during Valentine's, wingman Ginu, idiots in love, crack, smut. Smut's in chapter 2 though, so there's no smut in this chapter. Established relationship, Rumi is a dork. That's very cute. I love that we're doing like a full flow today. Duck, duck, go, LMFAM. So this is How to Be Someone's Valentine by TossLotsofSauce. I'll read the summary real quick. She set the bags on her bed and got to work. Laptop open, she pulled up the tutorial video for the pipe cleaner bouquet, deciding she'd assemble the candy bouquet tomorrow morning when her nerves weren't already fried. The pipe cleaners, however, did not care about her emotional state. She poked herself once, and then several more times after. By the 20th stab, she was convinced the flowers were actively fighting back. Halfway through shaping a petal, there was a knock at her door. She froze. Rumi? Zoe's voice came muffled through the wood, warm and slightly pouty. Can I come in? I want to cuddle. I barely saw you all day. Crap. Think fast. I'm busy, she blurted. Pause. She panicked, and her brain supplied the worst possible cover story ever. I'm naked and looking at my body for anatomical reference. I can't right now, sorry. or Rumi attempts to celebrate her first Valentine's Day and nearly implodes. That's very cute. Happy Valentine's Day. This is not Valentine's Day. It's been 2 months since Valentine's Day, but it's fine. It is literally fine. I had to give them a little holiday moment because they've never really celebrated anything in Two's company, and that simply felt illegal. So here's some fluff, chaos, and excessive affection as compensation. Thank you. I'm excited for this. And chapter 1 is called Go For It, Rumi. So this will be like a 2-chapter, like 2-shot. Are they called 2-shots if they're 2 chapters? It's gonna be a short one. And only the first chapter is out. I know that Toss is trying to write a lot of things at the moment because she's writing a DDR fic, which if you don't know what DDR is, I'm not gonna say it over here because it's 18 plus. There's a DDR fic, still continuing Two's company. Gonna write the 2nd chapter of this sometime. Gonna write a 2nd chapter of the streamer Zoe fic someday, I think. Hi! So yeah, she's doing a lot. So whenever that comes out, we can read it sometime. We're already late to reading this. What's poppin'? If y'all like flirty Rumi, I'm reading Enjoy the Silence by Hoka Pontus right now. It's so good. Enjoy the Silence. Hoka Pontus. Oh, damn, that's long. Wait. It's a long one. Damn. Aww. Wait, I'm reading the additional tags. Aww. But this looks sad. Own Detective Zoe multi-chapter and Missing Mira. Oh. Thanks for the rec. Very low possibility that I'll actually get to it. I'm drowning, y'all. I am drowning. There is no sign of land. You are coming down with me. Hand in unlovable hand. Oh my god. Does GTC Rumira do No Children by the Mountain Goats? I'll need to check that out later. Anyway. At least for one hour. Okay. No, it's so good. Oh my god, are you frightened gold? Because I keep seeing you. I do keep seeing you, but I haven't read any of your stuff. I like had one of them open after, was it Rain? Who like, yeah, Rain. I guess like you would call them Rain. Like shared fan art of your like streamer Zoe, thick, and I was like, wait. I love a streamer Zoe fic. Oh my god, like Fork Found in Kitchen. Yeah, you liked Shut Up, You Have to Make Me. Was that the streamer Zoe? I haven't read it. Wait. I liked it? That's the fic name. I liked it. Like, did I leave kudos and forgot about it? Did I? Wait. I am like, you liked my Twitter post. Oh, I did do that. I did do that, in fact. Because I saw the Rain fan art thing. And I was like, ooh, this looks fun. So yeah. Oh yeah, here you are. Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Gotcha. Okay. I might read it in my off time if I remember. I can't promise anything. It's only like 1.6k words. Okay. Let's get into this one though. I don't want to keep on yapping too much. So chapter 1 is Go For It, Rumi. If I do read it, I'll leave you some comments. Go for it, Rumi. Rumi wiped the back of her hand across her forehead like she was about to perform surgery. The challenge before her was delicate, technical, high stakes. 3 boba pearls remained trapped beneath a drifting glacier of half-melted ice, and she had already finished the tea. The battlefield was shallow now, slippery, unforgiving. She adjusted her grip on the cup. The straw angled carefully against the inner wall, pressing and circling with surgical precision. The ice shifted with a faint click, with a faint clink. One pearl darted away, disappearing beneath a cube-like prey slipping into cover. Come on, she muttered under her breath, eyes narrowing. She inhaled sharply. The straw answered with that hollow, violent slurk of betrayal. Nothing but air and melting disappointment. She frowned, adjusted, tipping the cup slightly, just enough. The ice rotated lazily, clattering together like it was conspiring against her. Then, victory! A pearl rocketed up the straw and landed triumphantly on her tongue. This is so funny. This is what it does feel like while drinking boba. Yeah. She closed her eyes for half a second, savoring it like she'd just completed a marathon. One down, she whispered, solemn. 2 to go. Across from her, Ginu watched with blank, anthropological stare of a man observing wildlife through reinforced glass. They were seated in a small cafe a few blocks from campus, the kind that always smelled faintly of espresso and vanilla syrup, sugar permanently embedded in the wooden counters. Pink paper hearts hung in crooked lines across the windows. Red ribbon looped lazily from beam to beam overhead. A chalkboard sign near the register read, "Buy one, get one half off, Valentine special." There were heart-shaped sugar cookies stacked in a glass jar beside it. Strawberry syrup bottles lined up like soldiers. Valentine's Day was approaching. Rumi was still on pearl number 2. You know, Ginu said at last, resting his chin in his palm, voice as flat as the table between them. You could just open the lid. She didn't even spare him a glance. That ruins it. It ruins what? The experience. Ginu blinked. The experience. It's like a reward system, she explained seriously, turning the cup slightly. I worked for the tea, now I earn the pearls. He stared at her. Ginu blinked slowly. How, no, genuinely how had he become friends with someone like this? Another sharp inhale. Another hollow slurk. She gasped softly as the second pearl shot upward, breathing out a triumphant yes. Ginu exhaled slowly through his nose, watching her wage war with dairy and tapioca in absolute seriousness for another 10 full seconds. Then his gaze drifted back to the cafe. The decorations were new since the last time he'd been here. More pink than he personally believed should legally exist in one building. Paper hearts taped to the glass. Red streamers drooping overhead like festive caution tape. A small stuffed bear sat near the register holding a plush heart that read, "Be mine." The entire place had the subtlety of a love confession written in glitter glue. He glanced back at Rumi. That reminded him. Ginu's gaze drifted back to her slowly, like a thought had just slotted into place. So, he drawled, lifting his cup lazily. Got any plans for Valentine's Day with your booze? Rumi's head snapped up again, nose wrinkling like he'd just said something offensive. Don't ever say that again. Ginu rolled his eyes. Your lovers, your romantic entanglements, your legally binding girlfriends. She squinted at him. You're being weird. You're deflecting. She dropped her gaze back to the cup and stabbed the straw into the ice, suddenly far less triumphant. Maybe we'll do something, I don't know. He leaned back. You don't know. They haven't said anything yet, she said, trying to sound indifferent, failing. So probably not. Ginu raised a brow. Okay, but did you ask them? She paused mid-suction, straw hovering in her mouth. Ask them what? To be your Valentine. The pearl she just captured went down the wrong way. Rumi inhaled sharply at the exact wrong moment. The pearl shot halfway up the straw and she choked, coughing violently as she thumped her chest with one hand, while Jinu watched with zero urgency. She finally recovered, eyes watering slightly. She stared at him, wide, horrified. I was supposed to ask, she wheezed. Jinu stared at her. Well, yeah. But we're dating, she said, genuinely baffled. Isn't that implied? I thought that automatically meant they were. That's not how it works. It isn't? No. He leaned forward, elbows on the table. You still ask. It's a thing. It's cute. It shows effort. The thought counts. The thought counts. Rumi blinked once, twice. Had they been waiting? A small, horrified gasp escaped her before she could stop it, hands slapping down on the table hard enough to rattle both cups. Maybe that's why they haven't said anything, she blurted. They were probably waiting for me to ask them. Jinu winced at the volume. It can go both ways, or, well, in your case, 3, so it's not necessarily up to you. They probably think I don't care! Her stomach dropped. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. What if they thought she wasn't serious enough? What if they were giving her space and she'd just done nothing? Rumi dragged both hands down her face and then up into her hair, gripping at the roots. Fuck, she whispered harshly. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to get. This is the first time I've ever been in a relationship during Valentine's time. That felt heavier out loud. First time. She'd never had someone to buy flowers for, never had someone to plan for, never had someone waiting to be chosen. And now she had two people who chose her every day. I'm so doomed, she groaned, letting her forehead fall to the table with a solid thunk. The wood was cool against her skin. She considered staying there indefinitely. Across from her, Jinu let out a slow sigh, the kind that carried theatrical exhaustion but not actual annoyance. She could practically feel his smirk without looking. Her head lifted just enough for one eye to peek at him. He was already watching her. Of course he was. Will you help me? She asked, the edge gone from her voice now. It wasn't dramatic anymore. It was small, earnest. Please don't make me do this alone, her expression said. Jinu leaned back in his chair like he was considering the fate of the world. I guess, he sighed dramatically. I can't leave you hanging since it's your first Valentine's or whatever. Relief flooded her so fast it almost made her dizzy. She shot upright, leaning across the table to grab his hands in both of hers, squeezing tightly. Thank you, she breathed. I don't know what I'd do without you. That's because you'd be hopeless without me. He huffed, though he squeezed back automatically. Rumi didn't miss it. She grinned, but her thoughts were already racing ahead. Okay, she had to ask them. But how? Separately? Together? What if that made it weird? What if she asked Mira first and Zoe felt like second choice? What if she asked them at the same time and it felt impersonal? Was there a rule book for this? Was there poly etiquette she missed? Her heart thudded harder the more she thought about it. She wanted it to be perfect. Not because Valentine's Day mattered, but because they did. She swallowed. Okay, she said slowly, determination replacing panic. We need a plan. I need my notebook. Jinu groaned, already knowing where this was going to go. This is reminding me of early Two's Company, and now I'm missing it. Now I'm like, God, I love Dork Rumi. God, me too. By the stars is exactly how I would react. Oh, Rumi. This is also like before all the stuff happened with Rumi's dad, right? Because like if I pull up the dates, those chapters were released. Yeah, Daddy's Girl Part 2, Slipping Through Her Fingers, they were both released after this. So it's like, oh, they were having such a nice time before everything went to hell. Okay. Step 1, ask them out. Crossed out. Part 1, gifts first. After Jinu's very serious Valentine's protocol briefing the night before, Rumi had gone home and rewritten her notes twice. Small gift when you ask them, he had said. Cute, thoughtful. Then the bigger gift and actual date on Valentine's Day. Effort, intentional, thoughtful. She had underlined thoughtful 3 times. Now, the following afternoon, after casually telling Zoe and Mira she'd be out with Jinu for a bit, and internally panicking when neither of them questioned it, she found herself wandering through the mall with her notebook clutched in hand. She felt like the mall was mocking her. Everything was pink, aggressively pink. Storefront windows were drowning in heart decals. Paper cupids hung from ceilings. Somewhere above them, a playlist cycled through syrupy love songs that made her feel like she was already behind schedule in some invisible romance competition. What if they were expecting something better than whatever she picked? What if Zoe wanted something big? What if Mira wanted something small? She flipped open her notebook again mid-walk, licking her finger to separate the slightly bent pages. Zoe. Turtles, ocean, sea life. Laughs at dumb jokes. Likes soft things. Physical affection greater than everything. If she can't touch you, she will at least lean on you. Like soft things, blankets, plushies, oversized hoodies. Dramatic, in the fun way. Will gasp like you proposed when you hand her a snack. Keeps little trinkets, movie tickets, receipts, notes. Gets sentimental unexpectedly. Pretends she won't cry. She will cry. Keeps little trinkets. Oh, sorry. Wait. Yeah, keeps little trinkets, movie tickets, receipts, notes. That was like written twice. Low-key competitive, especially in playful games. Obsessed with matching things. Bracelets, socks, phone cases. Loves when someone notices small changes, hair, nails, outfit tweaks. That's so cute. Mira, fashion, details, texture, cuddles. Pretends not to like cheesy things, lies, absolute liar. The color green, deep forest green especially. Wants to feel understood without over explaining herself. Has a soft spot for domestic moments. Likes to be relied on. Observant. Will remember something you mentioned once 6 months ago. I love this so much. It's like, it feels like a characterization exercise, but it's like so cute. Her mind blanked anyway. She knew them. She did. She could name the way Zoe's nose scrunched when she laughed. She could describe the exact way Mira tied her hair back before cooking. So why did she suddenly feel like she was studying for a test she hadn't prepared for? A nudge hit her ribs. She looked up. Jinu was pointing ahead with his chin. Build-A-Bear. The storefront was glowing, soft pastels, bright overhead lights, a huge banner that read, "Make something from the heart," with cartoon bears holding stitched red plush hearts. Her chest loosened. Simple enough, Jinu said. They both like plushies, right? Rumi's face lit up so quickly it almost hurt. They do, she breathed, grabbing his sleeve and dragging him inside before he could retract the idea. The store wrapped around her in warmth immediately. Soft music hummed overhead. Bins of unstuffed animals were stacked in neat piles like clouds of fabric. There was a faint There was a faint sugary scent in the air, probably from whatever perfume they sprayed on the plushies during stuffing. Kids laughed near the stuffing machine, watching as limp fabric turned round and full, adults pretending not to be just as into it. It felt safe, wholesome, exactly what she needed. Rumi wandered to the nearest bin and crouched slightly, fingers brushing over different textures. Sorry. Little burp. Velvety bear, fuzzy bunny, smooth stitched frog. Aw, she murmured, lifting a floppy-eared bunny and cradling it instinctively against her chest. Look at her! Ginu picked up a white tiger from the next pile and held it beside her face. This you? She squinted at him. What does that mean? White tiger, intense, dramatic, slightly feral. She shoved his shoulder without hesitation and reached into another bin, pulling out a raccoon and holding it up in retaliation. This you? He examined it. Small pause. He's very handsome, actually, he said with full seriousness. I'll take it. She laughed despite herself. I love their friendship so much. It's so awesome. I love them. Okay, focus. Zoe first. Rumi stood and scanned the sea-themed section. Please have a turtle. Please have a turtle. She dug through one bin. No turtle. Another. Still no turtle. Her stomach dipped slightly, feeling like if she didn't find the perfect animal, it meant she didn't love her correctly. She paused, inhaling slowly. That's stupid. That's dramatic. Calm down. Her eyes caught something else instead. A penguin. It was small, slightly lopsided, with tiny flippers and bead black eyes that made it look permanently surprised. She picked it up. It was absurdly soft. She imagined Zoe squeezing it dramatically and going, "Oh my god, it's so ugly, I love it!" A smile tugged at her lips. You think Zoe would like it? She asked, glancing over at Ginu. He snorted. You're adding to her already overwhelming plush collection. She can never have too much, Rumi defended immediately. And that was true. Zoe collected affection like it was currency. The more the better. Okay, penguin secured. Now Mira. This felt more delicate. Mira liked plushies, but she pretended she didn't care as much. She wouldn't squeal or tackle her. She'd hold it carefully, smile small, keep it on her side of the bed. Rumi walked slower this time, fingers trailing over fabric like she was feeling for something specific. Fox, too predictable. Bear, too safe. Then she saw it. An alligator, bright green, slightly crooked, stitched smile, tiny felt teeth. Rumi froze, and then the memory hit her. She burst out laughing before she could stop it. Not just a giggle, a full, unexpected, sharp laugh that made a nearby employee glance over. Ginu looked at her like she'd lost her mind. What? Rumi pressed her lips together, shaking her head as she tried to stifle her giggles. Nothing. He squinted. That's not a nothing laugh. She looked at the alligator again. Okay, but listen, she said, lowering her voice and stepping closer to him. One time during sex, they just started talking about alligators mid-fingering out of nowhere. I remember that! Oh my god! Was that chapter 40? Yeah, I think that was chapter 40. The silence that followed was immediate. Ginu side-eyed her. Rumi's soul attempted to exit her body. She dropped her head into her hands, mortified, face burning all the way to the tips of her ears. I'm so sorry, she groaned. I don't know why I just told you that. Me either, Ginu muttered flatly. So I'm going to pretend I didn't hear it. He turned and walked away with the calm resignation of someone reconsidering their friendships. Rumi watched him go for half a second before sighing and clutching the penguin and alligator to her chest. Focus, she whispered to herself, and carried the plushies to the stuffing station. The worker smiled brightly and handed her 2 small red satin hearts. Make a wish, and give them a little love before we put them inside, the worker chirped. Rumi froze for a moment. Oh. She looked down at the hearts resting in her palm. One for Zoe, one for Mira. Her chest softened. She lifted the first heart and pressed a quick kiss to it. Please let her know how much I adore her. She did the same with the second. Please let her know I choose her, always. Guys, it is no secret that Rumira is my favorite dynamic, and I'm feeling crazy. Her cheeks warmed at how cheesy that felt, but she didn't care. She handed them over and watched as the machine whirred to life, soft stuffing filling the empty fabric until the penguin rounded out and the alligator's belly puffed adorably. When they were handed back to her, warm from the stuffing, something inside her settled. Okay, this is good. This feels right. She carried them over to the clothing wall and immediately got distracted. Mini jackets, tiny sunglasses, little shoes no bigger than her hand. Oh my god, she breathed. For Zoe's penguin, she picked a tiny blue hoodie and a bucket hat with microscopic sunglasses stitched onto the brim. She's going to lose it, she muttered, smiling to herself. For Mira's alligator, she hesitated, then grabbed a miniature chef hat and a little outfit with an apron and tiny glasses. Elegant, but ridiculous. Perfect. After paying, and wincing slightly at the total because why are tiny clothes so expensive, they stepped back into the mall's brighter corridor. Girl, it's Build-A-Bear. You should have known it was going to be expensive, girl. Austin, this is how to be someone's Valentine. It is in the Tooth Company universe. So it is like the Tooth Company polytrix on Valentine's Day. And it's Rumi's first Valentine's Day in a relationship. So, yeah. The noise rushed back in. Chatter, footsteps, distant music. Rumi was already on her phone. She snapped her fingers as she scrolled. Wait. Should I do the pipe cleaner bouquet for Mira? And a candy bouquet for Zoe? Ginu glanced at her. Why not just get them regular flowers? She gasped like he'd insulted her lineage. Because that's boring, she insisted. Look at this. She shoved her phone into his face, nearly hitting his nose. Candy flowers. That's so creative. And Zoe loves candy, so it's like double thoughtful. He squinted at the screen. You're making this way more complicated than it needs to be. It's my first Valentine's, she said immediately, softer now. It has to be good. Fine, he sighed. Candy store on the way back. Candy store on the way back. And we'll find an arts and crafts place for the pipe cleaners. Relief flickered through her. They continued walking, passing shop windows filled with glittering jewelry, pastel sweaters, red dresses. Rumi's steps slowed. Her gaze caught on something framed in soft pink lighting. Lace. Delicate straps. Red, white, blush. Some with tiny embroidered hearts. A lingerie store. She stopped entirely. Ginu bumped into her back with an annoyed sound. What? He followed her line of sight. His eyebrows climbed so high they almost disappeared. Rumi bit her lip. Okay, think rationally. Valentine's Day. Established relationship. Adults. Didn't even say that. Her stomach flipped. You think? She started carefully. Ginu shoved his hands into his pockets immediately, already regretting this. I think I'm out of my depth. She kept staring at the display mannequin dressed in soft red lace. It wasn't even that revealing, just pretty, delicate. She imagined standing in their bedroom doorway. Her face went molten. I mean, Ginu said cautiously, staring anywhere but the window. It's not uncommon for couples to get, freaky on Valentine's. Her brain replayed memories that she did not need right now. Stop thinking. She swallowed. I think I'm going to go check it out. You do that, he said instantly. She took 2 steps toward the entrance, stopped, turned. He was not moving. She frowned. Come in with me. His head snapped toward her. Absolutely not. I'm scared, she muttered. Scared of what? Of looking stupid. What if I grab something and it's wrong? What if it's tacky. What if they hate it? What if I pick something that's not my color palette? You have a color palette for this? She ignored that. He gestured vaguely toward the store. That stuff is for you. I am not stepping foot in there. She crossed her arms. I'm sure they have men's lingerie too. Maybe you could get something for Abby. He stared at her. I'm done. He turned and started walking away, ears visibly red. Wait, no, I'm sorry, she yelped, hurrying after him. I didn't mean it. Nope. I'm scared, Ginu, help me. He stopped, exhaled the longest, most long-suffering sigh known to mankind, and turned slowly. Fine. Rumi beamed instantly. You're the best! I hate this. You love me. He did not answer, but he followed her inside anyway. This is the greatest thing ever! I love it so much! Oh my god. Oh my freaking god. That is... Ginu... Ginu is doing his gay best friend duty. This is about like 11,000 words. So we're like not even halfway through right now. It is a long one. I mean 11,000 is not long in these streams anymore. If you're used to my GTC streams, but I am so obsessed with this. This is wait, I'm gonna tweet about this. This is so funny. Sorry for my like mid-stream tweeting. One of my teeth just fell out from the sweetness. This is the best day of my life. Okay. I'm gonna... Oh, I ran out of water. Yeah, this is a light snack compared. This is a one-shot. This is like a 2-chapter one-shot. I don't know what you would call a 2-chapter fic. Like, is it called a 2-shot if it's 2 chapters? It's a short fic. But this is the first chapter of it. The second chapter is not out. 2-shot? 2-shot? I'm guessing? I don't know. I should know my fanfic terminology, but alas, I do not know with this one. Okay. Wait. Wait, sorry, Rex, what are you saying? Good goddamn, what where can I get a girlfriend? Wow. Okay. I've seen some people, other people say that before, but I have no idea if that's common parlance. A double barrel, a twice, a sandwich. I always call it a 2-shot. Yeah, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. Wait, what? How's that chocolate? Twix? A Twix. It's a Twix. Okay. The lingerie store felt warmer than the rest of the mall. Dimmer lighting, soft gold instead of fluorescent white. Everything arranged like it was precious. Lace draped carefully over mannequins, silk ribbons tied into bows, delicate fabrics layered in gradients of blush, cream, and deep red. There was a faint scent in the air, something floral, powdery. Rumi immediately felt like she had entered a place she was not mentally prepared for. Her face burned as she walked further in, fingers hovering uncertainly over racks of lace. Okay, be normal. This is normal. Adults do this. She very deliberately did not think about what Zoe or Mira would look like wearing any of this. She failed. She lifted one set carefully. Thin straps, sheer fabric. Her brain unhelpfully supplied images of Zoe laughing as she tugged her closer, of Mira's eyes darkening quietly before she'd pretend she wasn't affected. Her stomach flipped. Jinu trailed behind her like a man awaiting judgment, head bowed so low it looked like if he glanced up even a little, the universe itself would smite him. He studied the floor tiles with deep religious focus. Rumi hovered near one rack, fingers brushing hangers as she pretended to be composed. Everything was pretty. Too pretty. Too many choices. How was she supposed to pick something that felt special without accidentally picking something terrifying? She lifted one piece to look at it properly and immediately froze. There were holes. Strategically placed holes. Rumi discovers lingerie. Her soul left her body. She shoved it back onto the rack like it had personally offended her, her face going from pink to full-on crimson. Absolutely not. Nope. After a few deep breaths and one internal pep talk, she thankfully found a tamer section. Still elegant, still intimate, but less ambitious. She lifted two pieces free, one red, one white, and turned slightly toward Jinu. Which one should I get, Jinu? His eyes lifted slowly from the floor like he was approaching a wild animal. He glanced at the two options, blinked once, then said carefully, "The white makes your hair pop." She blinked. That was unexpectedly thoughtful. Right then, an older woman slowed as she passed them, eyes flicking down to the neatly folded sets in Rumi's hands. Her lips curved into a knowing, delighted smile, the kind that suggested she had stories. "Well now," she said cheerfully, nodding toward the lingerie. "Spicing things up, eh?" Rumi felt her soul attempt to fold in half. "Just remember to practice safe sex," the woman continued, far too pleased with herself. There's a lot of November babies going around. I love it's so funny. Sometimes I'll just like think about like when November comes around, I'll start being like, and like people have birthdays, I'll be like, Short hair Rumi? Oh yeah. It's like it's November. It's those holidays when I'm like, It's November and it's September. Where I'll be like, interesting. Valentine Scorpios. Okay. We're not together, Rumi blurted, instantly mortified. Yeah, Jinu added immediately. She's just a friend. He was already red, like fully cooked tomato red. The woman laughed, waving them off. Oh, no need to be so shy. It's perfectly normal to want to explore with your partner. Before either of them could object again, she dug around in her purse with surprising determination. Oh no, I know what's gonna happen. Rumi watched in slow motion horror as the woman produced a couple of condoms and placed them gently in Jinu's stunned hands, patting his wrists gently. There you go, she said, winking. Better safe than surprised. Then, as if delivering a final blow, she added brightly, Have a happy Valentine's, and walked off like she hadn't just emotionally obliterated two people. Silence. Pure, devastating silence. Oh my god. Jinu stared down at the condoms in his palm like they were cursed objects. Rumi stared at the floor, then the wall, then anywhere that wasn't reality. I'm going to go try this on, she muttered meekly, clutching the white lingerie to her chest like it might evaporate if she loosened her grip. You do that, Gino replied just as quietly, immediately turning and walking in the opposite direction like his life depended on it. Inside the fitting room, Rumi leaned against the door and pressed her hands to her face. What has her life come to? She stared at herself in the mirror. This is for them. It's Valentine's. You're allowed to want to look pretty. She changed carefully, movements slower than usual, heart beating in her ears. When she finally looked toward the mirror, she hesitated and then looked. I don't think you're allowed to try on underwear like that unless you're like trying it on top of your current underwear. Or unless you really intend on buying it. I'm judging you, Ruby. I am judging you. I've had almost this exact thing happen to me. I'm sorry. Oh god. I'm like laughing now, but like being in that situation must be rough. But also it depends on the on the friends that you're with. It might be funny with certain friends. Okay. You're allowed to want to look pretty. Okay. Her breath caught. It wasn't scandalous. It was soft, the white lace delicate against her skin, the shape flattering in a way that made her feel confident, feminine, grown. She tilted her head slightly. Zoe would absolutely short circuit. Mira would go quiet first, and then not quiet. Her stomach flipped again, but this time it wasn't embarrassment. It was anticipation. She smoothed her hands down her sides. I actually like this. That realization made her cheeks warm for a different reason. Ginu, you there? He called through the door. I am not looking at your lingerie, he answered immediately. I know that, she said, rolling her eyes even though he couldn't see her. I was wondering if I just changed into it at the right moment. There was a pause. I'm pretty sure you wear it under your normal clothes, he said cautiously. So it's a surprise. Oh, that made sense. Oh, okay, that's smart. That's what you get when you go adult shopping with friends. Yeah. I mean, listen, being in this fandom have introduced me to freaky people, like the freakiest people ever. So I am not even surprised at this point. I was like, if I like went adult store shopping with a like polytrix like fandom like polytrix I'm like, I feel like we would have the most fun ever. But yeah, I know that not everyone is like that. Okay. Oh, okay, that's smart. She glanced back at herself once more, a small smile forming. I like this one, she added quietly. There was something about choosing it that felt important, not just for them, but for her. She changed back into her clothes quickly, folded the lingerie carefully like it was something precious, and headed to the register. The cashier gave them an amused look as Rumi paid, clearly piecing some implications that didn't go together in her own head. Rumi avoided eye contact with the intensity of someone who had learned nothing and everything in one afternoon. The bag felt heavier than it should have when it was handed to her. They left the store together, both visibly mortified, walking a little faster than necessary. They both exhaled at the same time. Why did that feel like a battlefield? Rumi muttered. Never again, Ginu said firmly. She looked down at the bag in her hand. Nervousness bubbled under her ribs again. Was it too much? Too soon? Would they think she was trying too hard? Or would they look at her like... She stopped that thought immediately. Okay, candy bouquet, pipe cleaners, focus. But despite the embarrassment, despite the granny, despite the existential crisis, she couldn't stop smiling. Because this was her first Valentine's, and she wanted it to be unforgettable. I'm trying to think of the Two's Company timeline right now, because you are writing fic while listening to this. God, I adore you guys so much. I am so in awe of you. I'm like, how do you do that? How do you write fic while like listening to something else? How does your brain work? This is a Two's Company side fic. So this happens in the Two's Company universe. This is in the Two's Company universe, but it's not a Two's Company chapter. So it happens on Valentine's Day in the Two's Company universe. Yes. Okay, let me think about the Two's Company timeline, because they start at the beginning of the school year, right? So I'm imagining that's like September, and they have a lot of months of like bonding. So I'm guessing they get together after Valentine's, and then they have the breakup that's like 3 months, and then they get back together. So at this point, they've known each other for like a year and a half at least. Hi, Dane. This has to be before the fashion show. Yeah, that no. Because fashion show is chapter 39, right? Fashion show. Yes, fashion show is chapter 39, and that's the smut chapter. And Rumi refers to the alligator thing that I believe happened in chapter 34, or not. When does the alligator thing happen? When does the alligator thing happen? Because that definitely does happen somewhere. That's not like oh, we didn't see it. Is it here? Yeah, it might be 38. When does the alligator thing? The first time? It happens their first time? So chapter 26, was it? Wait, this is like tangent time. Take your mind off things. 24. Yeah! Oh my god! It is 24. For some reason I was like, "Oh, it must have been more recent." Oh, that's crazy. That was so early on. I didn't know that. Can you please not talk about alligators right now? Okay, then it might be before the fashion show. You never know. Anyways, back to the fic. Tangent over. I was too stunned to forget about when that happened. The thing is, a lot of things are like mixing up in my brain right now. So I was like, that sounds like something that would happen when they were like more acquainted with each other, but apparently not. Apparently it was their first time. That's very funny. Also, did you guys notice my Mira shirt? This is my like dollar store Mira outfit. Not dollar store, but like it's my like cheap-ish Mira out. This wasn't that cheap. But like it's my little and I did the hair. Okay. Back to fic. The one store Mira outfit. Rumi unlocked the apartment door as quietly as physically possible. She eased it open inch by inch, wincing at every microscopic creak like it was a gunshot. Her first thought, irrational but urgent, was a silent plea that the kitchen and living room be empty. She peeked inside. Empty. The lights were on, but the couch was vacant. No bodies tangled together under blankets. No Zoe flopped dramatically across the cushions. She let out a slow, shaky breath. Okay, she whispered to herself. She slipped back out for a second, grabbed the shopping bags, and shuffled in, carefully shutting the door behind her, and padded down the hallway toward her room. Halfway there, she noticed Mira's door was closed, but from inside, she heard Zoe laugh, bright and unrestrained, followed by Mira's familiar shushing and a soft chuckle of her own. Rumi froze for half a second, listening. Occupied. Excellent. Stay occupied. Please continue whatever adorable thing you're doing. She made it to her room without I love this is good times, good old times. This is reminding me of good old times. She made it to her room without incident, shut the door behind her, and immediately locked it. Only then did she finally relax, leaning her forehead against the door for a brief moment. Mission 1 successful. She set the bags on her bed and got to work. Laptop open, she pulled up the tutorial video for the pipe cleaner bouquet, deciding she'd assemble the candy bouquet tomorrow morning when her nerves weren't already fried. The pipe cleaners, however, did not care about her emotional state. She poked herself once and then several more times after that. By the 20th stab, By the 20th stab, she was convinced the flowers were actively fighting back. Halfway through shaping a petal, there was a knock at her door. She froze. Rumi? Zoe's voice came muffled through the wood, warm and slightly pouty. Can I come in? I want to cuddle. I barely saw you all day. Crap. Think fast. I'm busy, she blurted. Pause. She panicked and her brain supplied the worst possible cover story ever. I'm naked and looking at my body for anatomical reference. I can't right now, sorry. Silence. Pure, devastating silence. Rumi slowly lowered her head into her hands. Why? Why did you say that? She could practically feel Zoe blinking on the other side of the door. Anatomical reference? Really? That's what you went with? What was she, an art student in distress? Okay, Zoe said after a beat, sounding confused but not upset. Let me know when you're done or whatever. Footsteps faded down the hall. She was never recovering from that. Still, relief won out over embarrassment, and she forced herself back to the task. Once she got the hang of it, the flowers came together faster, petals twisting into shape, stems forming properly instead of whatever abstract nonsense she'd been doing earlier. By the time she finished, about an hour later, her back was screaming from hunching and her fingers were mildly traumatized, but she was holding a big, colorful bouquet that actually looked like flowers. She stood up and stretched, groaning as her spine popped. Worth it, she muttered. She carefully tucked the bouquet into her closet, hiding it behind winter coats and a shoebox. The plushies were arranged in their gift bags. Everything was neatly concealed. Only then did she unlock her door. She opened it just in time to see Zoe slipping out of her room, hair down, oversized hoodie hanging off her frame, shorts barely peeking out underneath. She looked up. Their eyes met. Zoe's entire face lit up. Rumi, she sang softly, already crossing the hallway. Rumi barely had time to brace herself before Zoe practically launched into her arms, holding on as she peppered kisses across Rumi's cheeks, nose, forehead, everywhere but her lips at first. She stumbled back a step, laughing as she caught her, arms automatically wrapping around her waist. Hey, beautiful, Zoe said finally, kissing her properly this time. Rumi kissed her back instinctively, heart melting, stumbling backward into her room under the force of Zoe's affection. She breathed out a soft hi once they parted. Zoe's fingers threaded into her hair, her smile dopey and affectionate, eyes full of warmth. So, she said casually, like she hadn't just melted Rumi's brain. How was your hangout with Jinu? Rumi felt her heart stutter. Oh, right. That. It was fine, Rumi said quickly. A little too quickly. Got a couple of things and some food after, that's all. Zoe hummed, still staring at her in that soft, fond way that made Rumi feel like she was glowing from the inside out. God, she loved her. Her arms tightened slightly around Zoe's waist. Zoe, apparently satisfied with the answer, peeled herself off Rumi with a reluctant sigh. Sounds fun. Did you buy anything? Nope, not really, just. Zoe wandered toward the bed, eyes drifting lazily, until they landed on the bag. Not just any bag. The bag. The delicate, lace edged, tissue paper stuffed, very obviously not from a bookstore bag. The worst bag she could possibly see. Her stomach dropped straight through the floor. Ooh, Zoe said, curiosity lighting her face as she reached for it. What's in here? She apparently had forgotten to put the lingerie away, which meant at this exact moment, her girlfriend was seconds away from discovering secrets she was absolutely not prepared to explain. Zoe, wait! Rumi lunged. Too late. Zoe already had the bag in her hands, peeking inside. Rumi's brain shut off completely. There was no plan, no strategy, just raw panic. She jumped, hands shot out, and somehow she pantsed her girlfriend. How do you even do that? How do you even do that? Ruby didn't even understand how it happened. One second she was upright, the next she was on the floor, staring at Zoe's shorts pulled neatly around her ankles like they had given up on life. The bag dropped with a soft thud. Silence. This is such an anime. This is such an anime. Like you can tell. You can tell Toss is an anime. Oh my god. She slowly looked up, face burning so hot she was pretty sure it qualified as a safety hazard. Zoe looked down at her, eyebrows raised, expression blank with confusion. Say something. Say literally anything. Um, she said weakly, words scrambling for survival. It's Pants Your Girlfriend Day? She wanted the floor to swallow her whole. Zoe stared at her for one long, excruciating beat. Then her mouth twitched, and she burst into laughter. Full, delighted, slightly wheezy giggles. Wait, for real? Zoe asked, genuine. Why didn't anyone tell me? Relief flooded Rumi so hard her shoulders nearly sagged. She scrambled to her feet, quickly pulling Zoe's shorts back up, fingers fumbling slightly in her embarrassment. I'm very bad at holidays, Rumi muttered, smoothing the fabric back into place and patting Zoe's hips once she was done, as if that made this normal. Zoe grinned at her like this was the best thing that had happened all week. You're so weird, she said fondly, leaning in to kiss her. Rumi melted into it automatically, grateful for the distraction, grateful Zoe was laughing instead of asking questions about the bag. Zoe pulled back, eyes sparkling. Be right back, she said mischievously. Gotta go do it to Mira. And then she was gone, already halfway down the hall. Rumi blinked a few times, stunned that it had actually worked. She didn't waste a second questioning her luck. She snatched the bag up and shoved it deep into her closet, burying it behind clothes like it was incriminating evidence. That was too close. That was way too close. She shut the closet door softly and rested her forehead against it, letting her heart slow back down to something survivable. From down the hall, she heard it. A muffled, confused shout. Zoe! Followed by Zoe's unmistakable, delighted cackle. Rumi froze for half a second, then couldn't help it. Couldn't help it. A smile spread across her face as she shook her head, biting back a laugh. Of course she did. Disaster averted. Sort of. Little break for me. Let me check the. That is a very Zoe thing to do. They're so silly. They're so cutie. It's so funny whenever the AI hears me as like tooth company instead of tooth company. Oh god. I'm just gonna fix this. Hydration time. Yeah, I should get water. Be right back, y'all. I'm gonna go get water. Behave. Behave. Oh my god, guys. I have a little snack, too. Come on. I went to Lidl for the first time, and they have like, you know, the Samoa, not the what's the yeah, like the Samoa Girl Scout cookies. They had a dupe of the Samoa Girl Scout cookies, and they were so cheap. So I got a box, and it is like crack. They are so dangerous. They're so good. I love those Samoa cookies. Can I make it myself? Yeah, I can probably. Oh my god, those are so yummy. I stole the ice, LMFAO. Pants your GF day. Pants your girlfriend day. I'm gonna actually look it up because it would be so funny. Can you imagine how funny it would be if that's an actual day? There is National Girlfriend Day, obviously. Unfortunately, there is no Pants Your Girlfriend Day. Unfortunately, that is very sad. That is quite sad. Let me also plug in my phone while I'm here. I just noticed the goofy straw that you're using. Yeah. It's a little... I just grabbed it. I have another straw here as well, but that's just what I grabbed. Well, we know it's sometime just before Valentine's Day, and we can make it a reality because the polytrix fandom can do anything if we put our minds to it. Okay, let's continue. Oh my god. Those Samoa cookies are so good. Anyways, I'm back. Rumi stared at the time on her phone for what had to be the 100th time, thumb hovering uselessly over the screen as she sat in the passenger seat of Jinu's car. I don't know when she gets out of class, Rumi muttered, chewing on her bottom lip. Everything was ready. The gift basket, the handmade bouquet, the stupidly adorable plushies, the poster, every tiny detail she'd obsessed over at 3 in the morning. All she needed now was timing and a place and the courage not to pass out. She'd decided to ask Mira first since she and Mira both had morning classes. Zoe's were in the afternoon. She'd handle her later, one step at a time. Have you tried texting her? Jinu said, voice low and painfully reasonable. And I don't know, asking? Rumi glared at him. I don't want her to get suspicious. She won't. You overthink. I do not. You absolutely do. I was getting there. She grumbled under her breath, but opened her messages anyway and pulled up her chat with Mira. She typed, Mir, what time is your class finished? Almost immediately. 1:12. Why? Rumi's pulse picked up. Okay, casual. Be casual. Want to meet up with you if that's okay. Heart. That's more than okay. Love you. Heart, heart, heart. Rumi let out a soft laugh she hadn't meant to make, cheeks heating as a stupid grin spread across her face. God, I love her. She typed back quickly. Okay, see you soon. Love you too. Love you more, heart. Kisses you, kiss, heart, heart, heart. Rumi actually had to fight a giggle. This is like, Rumi is like giggling, kicking her feet inside her head. She shook her head, locking her phone, and looked up. Ginu was staring at her. Gay. Shut up, she huffed, rolling her eyes, though she couldn't stop smiling. Now we wait. Little story. My roommates, if you don't know, they are dating. And it's so funny. One of them was at work this morning and he came back, and the second he came back, my other roommate immediately went, kiss me. And they kissed, and then I was in the living room and they were like over at our like apartment entrance, and I went, gay. And and my roommate was like, you didn't see it. And I was like, I heard it. And he was like, you didn't see anything. And I'm like, you're still gay. Shout out, gay people. Okay, now we wait. Or, Ginu added slowly, you could just ask her to come outside real quick. Also, aren't you supposed to be in class? Rumi exhaled dramatically, leaning back in the seat. I'm taking a day off. This is far more important. Was that reasonable? No. Was that responsible? No. Did she care? Also no. But you're right, she added. Let's just go to her class. Because if she sat here any longer, she was actually going to combust. By the time they parked and started walking across campus, Rumi's nerves had officially crossed from manageable into catastrophic. Her thoughts felt too loud for her skull. Her palms were all damp and sweaty. It felt like her stomach was trying to tie itself into a knot as they headed to Mira's classroom. After a while, they eventually found it, and Ginu handed her everything. The poster looked much bigger in daylight, much louder. The letters were bold and slightly crooked. From sketches to seams, from dreams to art, be my Valentine, design my heart. She'd drawn little hearts around the edges, tiny bows, scraps of fabric taped carefully into the corners like texture swatches. Last night, sitting cross-legged on her bedroom floor, she thought it was genius. Now it looked like a confession written by someone who had never once felt shame. At the bottom were 2 boxes. Yes, yes. Na, 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 yes or yes. She couldn't physically bring herself to write no, because even the thought of Mira, even jokingly hovering over that option, made her chest feel like it was collapsing inward. Was this cute enough? What if she thought it was too much or cringe? What if she... Breathe, Ginu muttered beside her, eyeing her pale expression. You look like you're about to throw up. I might. Romantically. She shot him a glare that lacked any real heat. Shut up. Discreetly wiping her hands on her jeans, Rumi pulled out her phone and sent a text to Mira. Can you come outside for a second? The 3 dots appeared almost immediately. Then they disappeared. Her throat tightened. Did she change her mind? Did she get suspicious? Is she busy? Minutes crawled by. Every second stretched and pressed on her chest. Then the classroom door opened. Rumi instinctively stepped to the side, heart hammering. Mira walked out, phone still in hand, brows slightly furrowed in confusion, until she turned her head. The moment her eyes found Rumi, something in her expression shifted. Not dramatically, not theatrically, but subtly. A softening around the edges, a flicker of curiosity. Her courage wobbled violently, but she forced herself forward, lifting the poster with a shaky smile. Hi, she muttered, voice softer than she intended. Will you be my Valentine? Mira stilled. Her gaze dropped to the poster and stayed there. She read it once, then again, slower. Rumi could practically see the words moving behind her eyes, the way she processed details, the crooked letters, the fabric pieces, the obvious hand-caught hearts. Her silence stretched. She stepped closer. Rumi's brain panicked. Say something else. Fill the silence. Oh, and I got you a gift bag, Rumi rushed, because she physically could not withstand the quiet. And these flowers, they're made out of pipe cleaners and they were way harder than the video made them look, and I got stabbed like repeatedly. Rumi, Mira said gently, but Rumi couldn't stop. And I got you this bracelet with a spoon charm because I thought it was kind of silly and I didn't know if you'd want something so public, so I tried to make it not too big, but also big enough to feel. Mira kissed her, just like that, hands warm against Rumi's cheeks, steady and sure, grounding her completely. It was deliberate, slow, grounding. Mira's lips pressed against hers with a certainty that melted through the static in Rumi's brain. All the spiraling thoughts, the worst case scenarios, the self doubt, they evaporated under the warmth of it. Rumi hadn't realized how rigid her body had been until it gave out all at once. The tension drained from her shoulders, from her spine, from her knees, and she sagged forward slightly without meaning to. Mira's hand steadied her automatically. Everything went quiet. Just Mira's lips, warm and certain. When she finally pulled back, she didn't move far. Her hand stayed cradling Rumi's face, thumbs brushing softly against her cheeks, forehead rested lightly against Rumi's. She was smiling, wide, radiant. I love it, Mira said softly. All of it. Rumi blinked a few times, still a bit dazed, like she was trying to process the fact that oxygen existed again. And yes, Mira added, brushing her thumb across Rumi's cheek, I will absolutely be your Valentine. Rumi's face split into the biggest grin she'd ever worn. Really? Mira laughed under her breath. Hell yeah. Relief flooded her so hard it almost hurt. She hadn't realized how tightly she'd been holding herself together until that moment. She handed Mira the marker with slightly trembling fingers. Then check it off, Rumi said, smiling through the remnants of adrenaline. Mira glanced down at the two identical options and shook her head fondly. You're unbelievable. She checked both boxes. So cute. Then drew a little heart next to them for good measure. Rumi handed her the gift bag and the pipe cleaner bouquet. Mira took the flowers carefully, inspecting them like they were something fragile and rare. You made these? She asked softly. Rumi nodded. They attacked me repeatedly. Mira laughed, warm, genuine, and then leaned in again, pressing a gentler kiss to her lips this time. I'm keeping these forever, she murmured. The way she said it, soft, certain, made something in Rumi's chest swell almost painfully. She beamed so hard her cheeks ached as she watched Mira peek into the bag, pulling things out one by one like she was unwrapping something precious instead of goofy Valentine's chaos. The bracelet, the candy, the little handwritten note tucked awkwardly into the side. Then Mira lifted the stuffed alligator. Her entire face melted into a silly pout. This is so cute, she said, hugging it lightly to her chest. Rumi's heart did a small, pleased flip. And then Genu stepped up beside Mira and casually rested an arm on her shoulder like he had every right to be there. Right, he said. Can't believe it's a reminder to Rumi of that time you guys were talking about alligators in the middle of sex. Silence! Thick, heavy. Mira's smile didn't drop immediately. It just stilled. Her eyes shifted slowly toward Genu, then very slowly to Rumi. Rumi felt heat flood her body so fast she thought steam might actually rise off her skin. Give Rumi a gun! Give Rumi a gun! Rumi, Mira said calmly. How does he know about that? Rumi lifted the poster higher, hiding half her face behind it like it might protect her from consequences. I don't know. Mira stared at her for another long second before letting out a small, incredulous huff of laughter and shaking her head. You're unbelievable, she muttered, but there wasn't anger in it, just warmth and maybe a little mortification. She stepped forward, closing the small gap between them, and wrapped her arms around Rumi's waist. Rumi immediately dropped the poster and hugged her back, burying her face into the curve of Mira's neck. Her heartbeat was finally slowing. The hug felt solid, safe, real. I got you some stuff too, Mira murmured against her hair. I was just waiting for the right moment to ask you and Zoe. Rumi melted instantly, breathing her in, the last of her nerves finally easing. She was going to ask too. That thought alone made her want to combust. She pulled back slightly as Mira studied her face, eyes bright and affectionate. Did you ask Zoe yet? Rumi shook her head. Oh, sorry, that was Mira. Did you ask Zoe yet? Rumi shook her head. Not yet. I'll have to do it when she gets home. Mira nodded, then leaned in and started pressing kisses everywhere. Rumi's cheeks, her jaw, her temple. Quick, happy, relentless. I love it so much, Mira said between kisses. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're the best. Rumi squealed, laughing as Mira's lips rained ticklish kisses across her face. Okay, okay, she giggled, trying to squirm away. You're attacking me! Mira only grinned wider, catching her face again and pressing one more lingering kiss to her mouth. When she pulled back this time, her expression softened into something quieter. I love you, she said. Not rushed, not playful, just steady. Rumi's fingers slid gently under Mira's jaw, thumb brushing along the edge of it. I love you too, she replied, and meant it with her entire body. She kissed her again, softer this time, slower, letting herself feel it instead of floating above it in nervous adrenaline. Boo, Ginu called from behind them. Get a room already. Without breaking the kiss, they both flipped him off. He groaned dramatically. Rumi laughed, resting her forehead briefly against Mira's. One down, she thought, heart warm and steady now. One more to go. This is like aquarium chapter levels of fluff, and I'm loving it. Hello. Hello, y'all. If you're just coming, we are reading How to Be Someone's Valentine, which is a Two's Company universe side-fic that takes place around Valentine's Day. It's Rumi's first Valentine's. Aquarium? I just joined back. I love aquariums. I'm talking about the Two's Company aquarium date. Did someone send me something? Did someone pinged me in the Discord? Who pinged me? Oh, Artie's currently live. Thank you, Dane. I don't know if Dane is here. Oh. This is my little break. 11K words is no joke, holy. Oh. I thought I had my it should be charging. Sorry, my phone hasn't been charging all this time. That's weird. That was weird. I need chapter 2. It hasn't come out yet, and it's been 2 months. That's true. I realized that today. I was like, I can't believe it's been 2 months since Valentine's Day. I need time to stop right now. Right freaking now. Oh. Sorry, I started thinking about taxes again. Depressing. Boo. We hate it. We're back to fantasy land. Bro, the smut is on chapter 2. I need to read what goes down. I know. It is. Listen, it allows me to stream without Discord. We're almost a third of the way through the year. That's disgusting. What do you mean? What do you freaking 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 mean? That is... It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, girl. It's okay. I'm like trying to remember all the beautiful things I've already done this year. I'm like, oh, girl, you like stage managed a show. You ran sound for a musical for the first time. You did an audiobook contract. You like auditioned for a job that you were like, remember all the beautiful things you did. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. Don't freak out because Rumi bought a lingerie. Yeah, I'm reading it right now. I'm at the part where she asks Zoe out. It's been 120 days. Stop. 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 Jesus Christ. No more. We're back. Rumi heard the faint jingle of keys at the front door and humming. Zoe's humming. Her heart leapt straight into her throat. She dropped her book so fast it thudded against the couch cushion and scrambled upright, nearly tripping over the edge of the rug as she rushed down the hallway to her room. Okay, this is it. She didn't say it that way. That's just how my voice came out. Her hands shook slightly as she grabbed Zoe's poster, the candy bouquet, and the gift bag. The bouquet crinkled softly in the cellophane wrap. Cellophane. Okay. The marker nearly slipped from her grip. This felt different than earlier. With Mira, it had been slow dread, the kind that sinks heavy and deep. With Zoe, it was sharp, electric, like static under her skin. She barely had time to spiral before she heard the dull thump of Zoe's bag hitting the floor down the hall. Rumi swallowed and stepped towards Zoe's open bedroom door. Zoe was facing away from her, halfway through pulling her shirt over her head when Rumi cleared her throat softly. Zoe turned around in surprise. Her expression shifted instantly from startled to confused, and then to stunned, because Rumi was standing there, slightly out of breath, holding a brightly decorated poster like a shield and what looked like a candy explosion bouquet awkwardly balanced in her other arm. Zoe blinked once, twice. Rumi's stomach dropped. Say something before you die. But Zoe stepped closer instead, eyes scanning the poster. She started reading out loud, her voice soft at first. From the deep blue sea to the sandy shore. Her lips twitched. I turtly love you and so much more. Her eyebrows lifted. You occupy my mind all the time. Her grin spread wider. So what do you say? Will you be my Valentine? She gasped. Not exaggerated, not fake. A real, delighted, almost breathless gasp. Oh my God, Rumi! The way she said her name, like she couldn't believe her, made Rumi's heart trip over itself. The squeal that followed could have shattered glass. Yes, she said immediately, almost cutting Rumi off before she could even finish the ask. Yes, I'd love to be your Valentine. She bounced forward, grabbing the marker from Rumi's hand and filling in both boxes with enthusiastic pressure. The paper crinkled under the force. Rumi felt her chest loosen in a way that was almost dizzying. This is so different from Mira. With Mira, it had been quiet gravity. With Zoe, it was fireworks. Zoe traced one of the little sea animals Rumi had drawn in the corner, a tiny turtle with a crooked smile. This is so cute, she said, almost reverently. Look at the little whale and the octopus. You drew all this? Rumi flushed under the attention. They're kind of crooked. They're perfect. There was no teasing in her voice, just pure affection. That hit harder than the squeal had. Rumi lifted the candy bouquet, suddenly feeling shy. I made this too. I know you like candy. Zoe took it carefully, her expression shifting again. Less explosive now, more touched. You made this? She repeated, scanning the arrangement. Rumi nodded. It's so pretty, I don't even want to eat it, she declared solemnly, then immediately bit into one. A laugh slipped out of Rumi before she could stop it. Zoe chewed enthusiastically, then her nose scrunched adorably. Oh, that's sour, but really good. What candy is this? She laughed. Rumi smiled despite herself, heart warm and fluttery. Sour ropes, green apple, and strawberry. Zoe nodded, already going back for another bite. I love it. Good. That small, quiet relief spread through her ribs again, the kind that came from getting something right. The gift bag followed. Zoe carried it to her bed, plopping down cross-legged and immediately diving in like it was Christmas morning. Every item she pulled out earned a gasp. A plushie? More candy? Oh my god, matching bracelets with you and Mira? And is this a scrapbook? Rumi hovered nervously. I didn't know if you liked scrapbooking, but I thought maybe... Zoe suddenly launched herself forward, wrapping Rumi in a tight hug that nearly knocked the air out of her. I love it so much, she mumbled into her shoulder. Thank you so much, Rooms. Rumi hugged her back, laughing softly, relief and affection crashing over her all at once like a wave that had... There's another bracelet, she voice dipping shyly as she pulled back just enough to meet Zoe's eyes. You have to see it. For real? Zoe asked, leaning back toward the bag. Rumi nodded. Zoe dug through the tissue paper and lifted out a bluish, white beaded bracelet. In the center sat a tiny turtle charm, smooth and delicate. She stared at it for a second, then her face crumpled in the softest way, lips pouting as she looked at Rumi. I love it, Zoe said quietly. Rumi smiled as she fiddled with her hands, suddenly hyper-aware of everything. The way she was standing, the heat in her face, the fact that she'd over-explained the website in her head at least 10 times already. I was looking online, she began, words careful now. And there's this site that lets you adopt and track wild animals, like real ones. They give you a bracelet tied to a specific animal and you can see where it goes and migrates. Whoa. Sorry. She glanced away for half a second, then back. They had sea turtles, so I got you one. I thought you might like having one. Like one that's yours. Her heart pounded. Was that too much? Zoe blinked. Once, twice. Wait, she said slowly. Like track? Rumi nodded. Yeah, like live updates and maps and everything. Zoe's eyes widened. You're telling me, she said, voice climbing, that there's a real turtle in the ocean and it's... She pointed between the bracelet and herself. Mine? Rumi laughed softly, nodding again. Well, it's yours, but not yours. Zoe made a sound that was somewhere between a gasp and a squeal and immediately tackled Rumi into a hug, nearly knocking her over. Oh my god! Zoe said into her shoulder, bouncing slightly. That's so cool! I can watch it swim! I can see where it goes! What if it goes past like coral reefs or currents or, oh my god, does it have a name? Rumi hugged her back, grinning, her chest warm and buzzing. This is exactly why she got it. I think you can name it, she said. There's a whole profile and stuff. Zoe pulled back, eyes shining. I am going to check it every day. Every day. I am emotionally attached already. She sniffed suddenly, laughing at herself as she wiped at her eyes. I love it, Rumi. I really, really love it. Rumi's throat tightened a little. I can help you set it up on your phone, she said softly. They give you a QR code and everything. Zoe leaned in and kissed her without warning. It was quick, impulsive. It startled Rumi enough that her breath caught, but she recovered almost immediately, hands sliding up to cup Zoe's face as she kissed her back, warm, certain, slightly salty from the sour candy. I love you. I love you, Zoe murmured against her lips. Rumi smiled, heart full of the point of ache. I love you too. Zoe wiped at her eyes with the heel of her hand, letting out a wet little laugh. Oh man, she sniffled. I want to ask you first though. I was going to tomorrow. Rumi blinked. Really? Mm-hmm. A soft knock came from the doorway. Mira leaned in, a small, knowing grin on her face. I'm guessing you got your gifts too, Zoe? Yes, Zoe said immediately. Rumi got me a freaking turtle I can track! Mira raised a brow. Of course she did. Zoe pressed a few more kisses to Rumi's cheek, making her laugh. Rumi's the best! She punctuated it with a few more kisses, making Rumi laugh as she leaned away, only half-heartedly trying to escape. Mira stepped inside, slower, her expression warm as she looked between them. I'm saving your gifts for Valentine's Day, Mira said, stepping in and wrapping an arm around them both. But I can make you a meal instead if you'll be my Valentine. Rumi felt Mira's chin rest briefly on her shoulder. Different warmths, steadier. Fine by me, Zoe said instantly. Rumi nodded, smiling so wide her cheeks hurt. Same here. Zoe pulled back just enough to look at both of them. Well, she said, a little softer now. Do you guys want to be my Valentine? Yes, Rumi said, voice warm and sure. I'd love to, Zoe. Mira smiled faintly. Always. And standing there between them, Zoe bright and emotional and beaming, Mira calm and grounded and steady, Rumi felt something settle into place. Just choice. 3 separate yeses, 3 different kinds of love, and somehow, miraculously, all of it hers. Very sweet. And I'm out of water again. Cute as lesbians. I thought it was. We just started the year. It's like scary. Every beginning of the year, I'm like, this time I will use my time wisely. And then we reach this point of the year where I'm like, how are we in April? How are we in April? Oh my God, hi. Hello? Hi. Oh my God, hi. Hi, Sky. Was Nyx here for a second? Hello. Hello, hello, hello. We're reading How to Be Someone's Valentine, the Two's Company special. Oh, I'm gonna put my leg up. Oh, okay. I'm gonna pull this towards me. Okay. Rumi woke up to fingers running gently through her hair, not absent-minded, intentional. Slow, careful strokes that skimmed her scalp and tucked stray strands behind her hair. Stray strands is always the weirdest combination of words to say, like stray strands, stray strands, stray strands. Stray strands behind her ear, like whoever was doing it had all the time in the world. She stirred, brows knitting faintly before her eyes fluttered open. The room was washed in soft morning light, pale and warm, and for a second she just blinked at the blur in front of her. Then it sharpened. Zoe, close, smiling softly, watching her like she'd been awake for a while. Good morning, Zoe said, voice low and fond, fingers brushing another piece of hair from Rumi's face. Rumi's brain took a second to boot up. Then she smiled, still heavy with sleep. Good morning. Happy Valentine's Day. Zoe's grin widened, fond and crooked. She leaned in and pressed a soft kiss to Rumi's lips. Happy Valentine's Time Day, she corrected solemnly. Rumi let out a quiet, pleased hum against her mouth and instinctively curled closer, tucking herself into Zoe's warmth like she could burrow there permanently. Zoe chuckled under her breath, thumb brushing along Rumi's jaw. If this is how every morning starts, I am never complaining about anything ever again. They stayed like that for a moment, just breathing. Then Zoe shifted. You do have to get up, though. You do have to get up, though, she murmured reluctantly, sliding out of bed. Our personal chef is waiting. Rumi blinked. Personal chef? Her brain stalled. She pushed herself up on her elbows, hair a mess, confusion etched all over her face. Did one of you hire someone? She asked, voice still rough from sleep. Zoe just grinned like she knew something. Oh no. Rumi followed her down the hallway, still trying to piece it together. There was the faint sound of something sizzling, a pan, the smell of something warm and savory drifting through the apartment. She rounded the corner into the kitchen and stopped dead. Mira stood at the stove, back to them, one hand holding a spatula as something crackled in the pan. Her pink hair was pulled up into a loose ponytail. She wore her glasses, and Rumi's brain fully rebooted. Red lace, matching set, and over it, a white apron tied at her waist. Yes! Let's go! Mira turned around casually, like this was normal. Like she wasn't standing there in red lace and an apron that said in bold pink lettering, "Kiss the chef. She's gay about it." Rumi's jaw dropped, like actually dropped. Her heart skipped, then sprinted. Her face went hot so fast she was convinced she might combust on the spot. This is not real. This is a dream. I am still asleep. This is the kind of dream you wake up from and feel disappointed for 3 days. Well, this is not. Give me that candy floss. This is real. Zoe plopped onto one of the stools at the counter like this was an everyday occurrence, chin propped in her palms, absolutely shameless as she stared. You're not dreaming, Zoe hummed, not even looking at Rumi. Rumi jumped slightly when Zoe reached over and pinched her arm. Ow! She frowned, rubbing the spot and glaring at her. See? Zoe said brightly. Real. Rumi swallowed. Very real. Mira always goes all out on Valentine's Day, Zoe explained cheerfully, still openly ogling. It's like her Super Bowl. Mira glanced over her shoulder, one brow lifting. I can hear you. Rumi, meanwhile, was still frozen in place. She had seen Mira dressed up before, obviously, but this felt dangerously domestic, dangerously intimate. Mira cooking breakfast in lace and glasses like it was the most natural thing in the world. Wait. Stop. Did someone draw this? Oh, did someone draw this? Because Rumi's wait. Oh my god. Rumi's brain short-circuited again at the thought. I could wake up to this every year, every Valentine's, every... Stop spiraling! Mira turned off the stove and carefully plated the food. She brought 2 plates over and set them down in front of Zoe and Rumi. Heart-shaped vegetable jong, golden and crisp at the edges, arranged carefully in overlapping layers. Beside them sat neatly sliced strawberries and a small dish of dipping sauce with a tiny heart swirled into it in sesame oil. Rumi stared at it. She noticed the details, the effort, the way the edges were evenly browned, the careful shaping, the presentation. Mira had woken up early for this. For them. For my 2 amazing, wonderful, ridiculously beautiful girlfriends, Mira said warmly, pushing her glasses up to her nose. Happy Valentine's Day. Her smile was soft, confident, a little proud. Rumi's heart did something embarrassingly dramatic in her chest. Zoe didn't hesitate. Thanks, Mir, she chirped, immediately picking up her fork. Rumi swallowed. Yeah, thank you, she said, voice slightly thinner than she intended. Mira looked at her then, really looked at her, and gave her one of those small, knowing smirks, the kind that made Rumi's stomach flip and her knees feel questionable. You like it? Mira asked lightly. Rumi's brain supplied several unhelpful responses. Instead, she nodded, trying to act functional. Yeah, it's really nice. Understatement of the year. Zoe took a bite and immediately groaned. Oh my god. Mira's attention flicked to her. Good. Marry me. Rumi nearly choked on air. Mira laughed slowly. It's on my to-do list. Two's company is gonna end with them getting married. I'm saying it. It's literally gonna end with a fucking proposal or a marriage. I'm saying it. And Rumi's face went red all over again. This was going to be a long day, a very long day. And somehow, the thought didn't scare her. It thrilled her. In the meantime, she forced herself to look down at her plate, willing her pulse to slow. Maybe if she focused hard enough on the food, on the symmetry, on the careful edges, maybe her heartbeat would follow suit. It did not, because warmth brushed against her side. She hadn't heard the shift in footsteps, hadn't noticed Mira moving closer, but suddenly there was a presence at her shoulder, subtle and steady, close. She stilled. Mira leaned down just slightly, just enough that her ponytail slipped over her shoulder and the faint scent of her shampoo drifted into the air between them. Then, soft lips pressed against her temple, not rushed, not teasing, just there, intentional. The contact was brief, but it lingered, warmth spreading outward from the place Mira's mouth had touched her skin. Rumi's breath caught before she could stop it. Eat before it gets cold, Mira murmured quietly near her ear. Her voice was warm, close enough that Rumi felt it more than heard it. Rumi's whole body shivered, brain blanking entirely. She could smell Mira's shampoo, something faintly spicy, clean, familiar. The heat from her body lingered even after she pulled back. So not fair. Rumi swallowed hard and nodded, because words were currently unavailable. Zoe, of course, noticed everything. Wow, she said dramatically, pointing her fork between them. Right in front of my salad? Mira rolled her eyes but didn't look embarrassed. If anything, she looked smug. She moved around the counter and slid onto the stool between them instead of across, adjusting her apron slightly, and reached for her own plate. Zoe leaned her chin into her hand again and sighed happily. This is my favorite holiday. This is my favorite holiday, she declared. Mira took a bite of her John, calm and composed as ever. Because of the romance? No, Zoe said immediately. Because you cook in lingerie. Rumi inhaled too sharply and nearly choked. Mira shot Zoe a look. You're welcome, she said dryly. Rumi tried to focus on her food. She really did. But Mira sitting between them made everything feel different, closer, intimate in a way that made Rumi hyper-aware of her own knees brushing against Mira's thigh under the counter. Every small movement felt amplified. Mira cut a small piece of John, dipped it carefully in sauce, and, without announcing it, held it up to Zoe's mouth. Zoe didn't even hesitate. She leaned forward and took the bite, humming exaggeratedly as she chewed. 5 stars, she mumbled. Incredible, life-changing. Mira smirked faintly. Then she turned to Rumi and held out another bite. Rumi blinked. Her heart did something strange and fluttery again. You don't have to, she started. Mira's brow lifted. Rumi shut up immediately and leaned forward. The bite was warm, savory, the sesame oil rich and comforting. But it wasn't the food that made her stomach flip. It was the way Mira watched her while she chewed, attentive, like she was waiting for a reaction. Rumi nodded quickly. It's really good. Mira's smile softened just slightly at the edges. Good. Good, she said, and finally took a bite herself. Zoe reached across Mira and poked Rumi's arm. Ooh, you're blushing. Am not. You absolutely are. I'm just warm. From the stove or from how smoking hot Mira is? Zoe grinned. Rumi glared at her weakly, which only made Zoe laugh. Mira shook her head fondly and reached up, brushing her thumb lightly under Rumi's cheek like she was checking the flush herself. Rumi forgot how to function again. This was insane. This was actually insane. She was sitting at their kitchen counter eating heart-shaped pancakes while her girlfriend in lace fed her while the other one, who was openly flirting like they were in a rom-com. She felt something else underneath the fluster though. Something steadier. A warmth that wasn't embarrassment. It was security. This wasn't chaotic. It wasn't uncertain. It felt chosen. Mira nudged her gently with her shoulder. You're thinking too loud again. Rumi blinked. Am not. You get this look, Mira said calmly. Zoe leaned in. Yeah, like you're buffering. Rumi huffed. I hate both of you. Zoe beamed. No, you don't. Mira leaned in again, this time pressing a soft, quick kiss to the corner of Rumi's mouth before she could prepare for it. Rumi made a startled noise. Mira just smiled against her skin. Happy Valentine's Day, she murmured. And Rumi, finally defeated, could only whisper back, Happy Valentine's Day. She was so utterly, irrevocably screwed. And we have one last part remaining. One last section remaining. Hello. I'm curious now, how would a poly wedding work? It would just be like all three of them together at the same time. Poly weddings are not legalized, I don't think, in the US at least, which is upsetting. It's like it's one of the like frustrating things. Like it's frustrating. I am curious if there are countries where poly weddings are legalized. Utah? Yeah, and she's gonna get screwed. I'm gonna check. Are poly weddings legal? I mean, you can always like, yeah, polygamy is not legal anywhere in the United States. Yeah, but like, are they legal in any country? I mean, if it's not legal in the United, oh, okay. Polygamy is fully legal in 47 countries. That makes sense. Yeah, in like, okay, like some Central African countries. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, if you think about like in the olden times when like we had like sultans who had like multiple wives and like had a harem, I guess that would count. But like I that's not what I mean when I say like polyamorous, like marriage, like everyone marrying each other. That's what I mean. Like, this is not the way I mean it. Yeah, the vast majority of them being Muslim majority countries. Some countries are permanently matters. Yeah, quite a lot of like African countries. Oh, okay. Some like countries in Asia. Not Korea. Not Korea. Honestly, it's mostly not been made legal because so many laws would have to be changed / reworded. Yeah. I mean, like I said, like you don't marriage is not necessary ever. It's like marriage is literally only necessary for tax purposes. If you're married in your heart, you're married. I don't care. Like I especially I have so many friends who are like, fuck marriage, we're never getting married. We're like, that is, we do not subscribe to that. And that's a very like queer thing to do. I think like a lot of queer people I think are like marriages are fun. It is fun like if we can get married. Like there are people who would like really love to get married, and there are people who are like do not subscribe to that like convention at all. So it depends. Countries that do not recognize polygamous marriages. I mean, most. All forms of polygamy and some informal multiple sexual relationships are illegal under Section 293 of the Criminal Code in Canada. That's rough. Jesus. They have a whole section of Canada. I'm on Wikipedia. I'm on the Wikipedia like legality of polygamy page. Because if you love each other, you love each other, and you don't have to show that legally. Like I said, it's literally only for tax purposes. And if you like want to like get a house together or like get something together, like get assets, it's like it's fucking capitalism. It's only for capitalism. Like fuck that. It's so annoying. While polygamy is generally illegal across the United States, the legal system distinguishes between the practice of having multiple spouses and the specific criminal act of entering into multiple marriage contracts, aka bigamy. At the federal level, polygamy is considered de jure illegal under the Edmunds Act. It's unlawful cohabitation. It's like the same thing of like, oh, the US laws are so annoying. It's like similar when it comes to like cohabitation. It's also similar with like asexual partners wanting to get married, and it's like, oh, are you like only getting married for the benefits? Like if you're not having sex, like it's so frustrating. It is, yeah. The legal system is fucked, but we knew this. What does people's private lives have to do with others? Yeah, ask that to the fucking government, because the government will ask you, oh, are you guys having sex? Like they literally, this takes me to the whole like green card conversation. Like if there are green card marriages that happen all the time, I'm not talking about that, but like there are people who are genuinely trying to get married. Like I especially know about this because I'm not a citizen, but like non-citizens and citizens trying to get married, like actually trying to get married for real, and they will like like or like if they do end up getting married and they have the like green card meeting, and they will ask them, oh, where do each of you sleep in your bed? Like that is something I have heard. Like, where do you sleep in your bed? Like who takes which side? And like how often do you have sex? Like it is so fucked. But yeah, it is the reality, unfortunately. And yeah, and it needs to be changed. And my God, this is according by criminalizing cohabitation, the federal government removed the burden of proving that a formal marriage had occurred, which had previously hindered prosecutions under the Bigamy Act of 1862. We need a freaking revolution. We need a revolution. Like, oh my God. About so many things. Like there are so many things wrong everywhere. But this is just like something. Oh, Utah. Okay, someone had brought up Utah. Utah reduced bigamy from a felony to an infraction in February 2020, which is punishable by a fine up to $750. $750 compensatory service, forfeiture, disqualification, or a combination of those punishments. Nevertheless, polygamous unions are recognized as illegal under the Constitution of Utah. It is still illegal. In other states, bigamy is usually punishable by imprisonment or a fine. That's just so, like, God, what year are we in? It's like, Jesus, it's so upsetting. This was a very crazy tangent to go on, but what's happening? We are talking about the laws of polygamy. A tangent about the bullshit legal system. We are still reading the fic. I'm so sorry. We have like one section left because we were, how did this even start? Because Mira said something like, oh, I'm planning on marrying you someday, it's in my checklist. And I was like, wait, is polygamous like marriages legal in any country? And there are countries where it's legal in, but there are like, there's, you have to read the fine print of everything. Anyways, that was a tangent. Demo's Vegas fic takes place in a slightly less fucked up version of. I want to read the Vegas fic so bad. Should I stream the Vegas fic? If I'm like, if I know that demo's been very busy, and I've been like, I have like 3 fics that I'm streaming right now, and I don't want to add to that. And GTC comes out like pretty regularly usually. But I'm like, maybe like when one of them is done, do I add the Vegas fic? I don't know. It's so good. What changed your mind on polyamorous relationships? Oh, a fanfic of Huntrix in a polyamorous relationship. Insert Cell's tweet that was like, I wonder how many people realized they were polyamorous because of K-pop Demon Hunters. I mean, I'd already been thinking about this like before it came out. Like there was a podcast that I used to listen to a lot. I don't listen to them anymore. The Ace Couple podcast, and they are like an asexual couple, and they were talking about like the legalities of like cohabitating under like the under the laws of the United States, and they would talk about like polygamous relationships like not being legal and stuff. So like I was aware of it, but like definitely polytrix has really like made me go deeper into like the idea of like the concept of a polyamorous relationship, because it's not the first like ship, like polyamorous ship that I've read about, but it's the first one where I've gotten like this attached to. Genuinely though, this is why representation matters. Period. If anyone is arriving right now, I just went on a like crazy tangent about like polygamous marriages. I beckos, I can't stay long again, but hello. Why do countries care who or how many people you marry? It has to do with like, it's capitalism. I'm saying it's about taxes and assets. That's all it's about. That's literally all it's about. It's so ridiculous. What does it do to them if you're poly? And they would like was it Sam who said like they would have to change so many wording things in laws if they like legalized it? I don't know. It is certainly an interesting topic. But we are in the year 2026. Like I am like, why is it illegal in every state in the United States, illegal in Canada, legal in some like African and Asian countries? Anyway, hush child. We gotta be more woke. Everyone get more woke right now. Anyways, let's finish this because last time we left off Mira was cooking to them in sexy lingerie. So let's get back to that. Rumi brushed her fingers through her hair one last time. Yep, and I shall lead it to the revelation. Yeah. I'm just checking the YouTube comments real quick. Thanks for being here, X. Like genuinely like still staying here. Rumi brushed her fingers through her hair one last time, again, and then once more, just to be sure. She adjusted the white headband, smoothing it down carefully, tilting her head left and right in the mirror like she was studying a stranger instead of herself. Ooh, little burp. Sorry. Okay, breathe. She stepped back, tilted her head, turned slightly to the side. The dark purple long sleeve hugged her frame just enough, cinched at her waist in a way that made her feel softer, prettier somehow. The sleeves flared at the ends, brushing over her wrists every time she moved. Her jean skirt sat just right on her hips, secured with a brown belt she changed 3 times before deciding this one felt right. A small star necklace rested at the hollow of her throat. She touched it absently. You look fine. You look good. They think you're pretty. They literally tell you that daily. Calm down. Her stomach fluttered. They were taking her on dates, separately. The thought still felt unreal. Apparently, they'd both agreed on it without much fuss, said they'd done plenty of Valentine's Days dates together before Rumi came along, and since this was her first Valentine's Day with them, they wanted to spoil her. One-on-one time, intentional time. And then later, all 3 of them together, her pick. The fact that they'd framed it like that, her pick, made her chest feel tight in a way she didn't quite know how to unpack. They wanted to give her space to feel special, to feel chosen, not like an add on, not like the new piece fitting into something that already existed. Rumi inhaled slowly. I don't want to mess this up. She smoothed her skirt one more time and left the room. The living room was quiet when she stepped into it. They were already there, waiting. The moment she came into view, both Zoe and Mira stood up at the same time, like she was the main event. And they were both holding bouquets for her. Rumi blinked. Oh. Her breath caught in her throat. Her bouquet was a bright, romantic explosion. Red roses, pale pink carnations, white baby's breath woven through the stems like soft clouds. A few tiny hearts, a few tiny heart-shaped accents peeked out from between the petals. And her dress? Rumi's brain had to reboot again. Wait, who are we talking about right now? Is this... Oh, this is Zoe. And her dress? Rumi's brain had to reboot again. Zoe wore a mini cream-colored dress scattered with tiny red heart prints, the fabric soft and floaty. A deep crimson bolero hugged her shoulders, framing her collarbones. White lace socks peeked out above sturdy black platforms, grounding the sweetness with something bold. A delicate pearl necklace rested at her throat. Her space buns were styled higher than usual, adorned with tiny red heart pins that caught the light when she moved. She looked radiant, warm, like she had stepped straight out of a Valentine's card. Rumi blinked twice. Zoe noticed immediately and grinned, pleased. Then Rumi's gaze shifted. Mira. Purple, blue, and white flowers, irises, and lavender mixed with white lilies. This is pre everything we learned about lavender. This is pre everything we learned about lavender. Lavender mixed with white lilies, tied together in sleek dark wrapping. Less fluffy, more structured, of course. Mira wore a red leather jacket, red leather, yellow leather, red leather jacket that hugged her shoulders perfectly. Underneath, a crisp white button-up, only fastened at the top few buttons, revealing a subtle sliver of skin at her midriff. Dark jeans framed her legs cleanly. Her hair was down again, one side tucked behind her ear, exposing the sharp line of her jaw. She wore a muted berry-toned lipstick that deepened the warmth in her skin. She looked like she belonged on the cover of something. Rumi stood there, completely still. God, how did she get so lucky? 2 completely different kinds of beautiful, 2 completely different energies, and both of them standing there with flowers for her. Her. Hey, Rumi breathed, voice coming out softer than she meant it to. You guys look... She trailed off, trying to find words. Pretty, stunning, gorgeous. Nothing felt like enough. She just shook her head slightly, overwhelmed. Mira's lips curved. Well, of course, she said smoothly. Can't be looking like a bum on Valentine's Day, especially if we have a hot date. Her gaze dragged slowly, deliberately, over Rumi from head to toe. Not rushed, not shy, intentional. Rumi's skin prickled under it. That part, Zoe chimed in immediately, nodding appreciatively. Rumi's face heated instantly. Zoe stepped forward first and handed her the bouquet. For you, she said, almost shy now that it was actually happening. Rumi took it carefully. The flowers smelled sweet and fresh and real. They're beautiful, she whispered. Mira stepped forward next, offering her bouquet. We debated colors, Mira admitted calmly. I won. Zoe huffed. You bullied me. I reasoned with you. Rumi laughed softly as she took the second bouquet, now holding an armful of flowers. This feels unreal. She looked between them again. Zoe's bright, barely contained excitement, practically vibrating in her heels. Mira's steady composure, arms crossed lightly but gaze soft and attentive. Both of them dressed up, both of them holding flowers, both of them waiting. Yeah, she was not surviving this day intact. So, Rumi cleared her throat, suddenly hyper-aware of how loud her own heartbeat sounded in her ears. Who's taking me out first? Zoe perked up immediately. Mira straightened slightly. Then they both looked at each other. You pick, Mira said, gesturing lightly toward Rumi. Zoe nodded quickly. Yeah, you choose. It's your day. Your day. That did something strange to her chest. Rumi blinked. Oh, this is actually up to me. She hadn't thought that far. Her gaze bounced between them again. Zoe was practically bouncing in place. Mira looked calm, but there was a faint competitive spark in her eyes that Rumi recognized immediately. She stood there awkwardly for a second longer before lifting her finger dramatically between them. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Zoe gasped. Oh, wait, no. We'll just spin the Wait, no. We'll just spin the wheel. Mira cut in smoothly, already pulling out her phone. Within seconds, there was a very serious-looking random name spinner app open. Rumi tried not to laugh. Zoe leaned in close to watch as Mira tapped the screen. I really chose like two great chapters to read in the same stream. Like we go from heads or tails to online wheel spinning app. Rumi tried not to laugh. Zoe leaned in close to watch as Mira tapped the screen. The little digital wheel spun and then slowed. Tick, 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 and landed on Zoe. Yes! Zoe shouted triumphantly, throwing her hands in the air. We're gonna have so much fun, Rue! Rumi couldn't stop smiling. Zoe grabbed her hands, squeezing them excitedly. Mira exhaled dramatically and slumped onto the couch. Well, she muttered dryly, crossing her legs. We definitely didn't plan this completely through. Zoe gave Mira's shoulder a quick squeeze. I'll return her in one piece. Preferably, Mira replied, though her gaze flicked back briefly to Rumi, soft, fond, maybe a tiny bit reluctant. She stood, adjusting her jacket slightly. I'm changing out of this before I wrinkle it. Text me when you're done. She leaned down and pressed a quick kiss to Rumi's cheek. Brief, warm, grounding. Have fun, she added quietly. Rumi beamed and nodded. We will. Zoe tugged gently on her hand. You ready? Rumi looked back at Mira one more time, then at Zoe. Her heart beat fast again, but this time it wasn't nerves. It was anticipation. It was the realization that she was about to go on her first real Valentine's date with someone who chose her. I'm ready, she said softly. Zoe grinned like she just won something important. Lead the way? Rumi added teasingly. Of course. Zoe gave her an exaggerated wink and pulled her toward the door. As they stepped out, see you later, Mir, Zoe called back. Don't have too much fun without me, came Mira's reply. Rumi glanced back once more. We'll try not to, she laughed. The door closed behind them, and as Zoe laced their fingers together on the walk down the hall, Rumi felt it settle in her chest again. One date down, one more to come. Yum. Outfits and stuff. Oh my god, we have a little link. We have a little link to outfits. Oh, this is so gorgeous. Everyone come here. Oh yeah, these two were perfect. I knew it was going to be Zorumi. I knew. It's always Zorumi first. Look at the outfits. I love the little Bob with the word Bob. Thank you, Toss. Toss is so funny. Oh, this is so cute. Oh my god. This is Zoe, I'm guessing, yeah, with the like dress and Rumi over here. Yeah, women's solid color minimalist waist cinched long sleeve t-shirt everyday wear. That's a really cute shirt. I want that shirt. Pipe cleaner flower craft. Oh, that's what it looks like. That's so freaking cute, man. That is so cute. Oh, and she made that from scratch. So cute. Okay. Flip camera. That has been a long stream, even though the chapters we were reading were shortish. And the sun has went down. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need to buy Mira's outfit right now. Okay. Let me stop sharing this tab. That's in the stream. And I'm kind of tired and my throat kind of hurts. So I think that's a good place to end it. Um, I will see you whenever the next chapter of these fics drop. I don't know. Let's yeah, everyone place your bets if you think Two's Company will drop first, or Give Me That Candyfloss will drop first, or on the off chance that Reef really feels like writing again, The Art of Spoiling Pretty Girls. But Reef has been busy, and I understand that. Oh, I gotta okay. Um, cool. Yeah, I think that's where we're gonna end it. I'm so excited for topic 2 of how to get a Valentine. Um, yeah, let me actually check the poll that Toss had done, because Toss did a poll of, like, which one do you guys want first? Um, oh, I'm so excited for a streamer, Zoe AU as well. I'm guessing it's their I'm guessing Toss is continuing, don't clip that. I'm guessing. Okay, streamer Zoe AU is coming next. So, it will probably be that one. I'll then do it in order from what was picked first to second pick, and then the last one. But Two's Company is not included in this list, so it might come first. You never know. You never freaking know with Toss. Toss just likes to, like, drop fic chapters in the middle of your day, and you have to be like, "What? What?" Polytrix Mom AU Valentine's Day Part 2. Oh my god, we still have yeah, it's the little things. Yeah, yeah. I did read the second chapter of It's the Little Things on stream, right? I'm trying to remember. There has been so many new everything is mixing up in my brain. Did I just hear Mom AU? Oh, yeah. Toss has a Polytrix Mom AU. It's really, really cute. Toss has so many fics. Toss has so many fics. Like, everyone always, like, remembers Two's Company and forgets about the other ones. Don't clip that. is such a good streamer, Zoe Fig. Very special to me. Very special to me for arty sauce reasons also. I think it's really funny. Um, yeah. Yeah, it's the little things. It's the little things is the mom AU. And I actually haven't read the last chapter of that. I'm not gonna read it right now because we've been here for a while. I need to read the oh god, I need to read her Rumira one shot. Oh god. I need to read her Rumira one shot. Also oh shit. Also, if you want wait. Wait, I also haven't read this one. What? Toss has released so much stuff that I haven't read actually. Where's the one that's oh god, I'm trying to find where's the Zomira one? The Zomira one that oh god, no, not that one. Not that one. All yours. Her Zomira one shot, all yours. If you're looking for a smut fic, I remember reading that and I was like, "Oh." Anyway. Where does Toss find the time? Where does anyone find the time to do anything is my question. I'm gonna turn off the lights even though we're at the end. I look very creepy right now. Okay, so that is going to be the end for the YouTube. I'm gonna say bye to the YouTube. Thank you for being here. Bye for now. Bye, Rex. Let me end. Streaming for like 3.5 hours.